ɛyɛ den ne saa na wenu nyina nananom bi no ho omunyae ɛyɛ na omoyɛ kasa mo beti ase fa ba edin futuro gu
kyerɛ sɛ ɔmo ne nananom akodi nkɔm
saa
wakɔbɔ mpaeɛ
saa
wasrɛ enhyira ɛde ama asanteman ne Ghana man nyinaa aha nti owie a ɔbɛtena dwam ɛno na yɛduru so yɛ a yɛhwe na afei nananom ne ɔmanfo nyinaa bɛkyia
adeɛ baako a yɛ na me nua ba yɛ na ɛma me ho dwiri me kakra ɛyɛ yɛnti aseɛ yɛankasa yɛkasa yɛnni hɔ ɛsan sɛ wɔbroni ɛkasa wɔ constitution a obiara bu ne mu ase gye tum nanso sɛ yɛkasa yɛwɔ yɛamammerɛ yɛ a ɛfiri yɛamammerɛ mu a yɛno deɛ na akɔyɛ atete kɔ asɛm ɛdan na ma ne ba ne sɛ yi
ɛno yɛ adwene a Kwasi Broni de bɛto yɛ tirim ɛbrɛ a wɔba a yɛma yi mu ɔma yɛnya adwene bi sɛ deɛ yɛyɛ wɔ ne nyɛ na ɔmo no deɛ no ɛne yɛ ɛna awerɛhosɛm ne sɛ ɛtɔ yɛ tirim ɛma yɛgye tu mu ɛma yɛto yɛyɛ nipa ne nyinaa egu yɛ ɛna Broni deɛ no yafa bɛyɛ yɛyɛ deɛ.
Wonderful. Let me switch over to our English viewers and audience so that at least we would come up close with the question I just asked. I just asked my sister Abna Denta why there seemed to be a certain misunderstanding or a certain lack of understanding on our part when we talk about our culture and our traditions. And I paid particular attention to tradition. And there she gave a very hugely profound explanation as to a certain miseducation, and that reason why it appears whenever you talk about our traditions, we're quick to attribute that to lesser or idol worshipping, whereas these traditions come from laws that help govern our people and govern them well indeed. You're watching the live feed from the Menchia Palace, where this morning Asante Maira Otumfuo Osei Tutu II sits in state and celebrates Akwasidae at the Kese. This morning Asante Maira will be receiving all chiefs and sub-chiefs within Asante Mai, as well as dignitaries who have traveled from far and wide to join him in celebrating Adekese.
Alan Medasipi Yansaka teacher Safo Kantanka Wayenchen. Our Bebuaya Ama Wacheche Niema Bimu Ya Bekoso Hanima Yache. And none of the Yakwenya Mayase Dibesuya, sir, and Niema Fire Mamre Hunina, sir. Na Abuaya Amayahu Babia, you free Babia, Yako. Aha. And teacher Aquaba, Josu Bro. Yasha Enfonia, who mema, Obibasia Kentina Wam, Ya Omo, Edward Montuma, Esi Wanombo, Ya, Wamoso, Abba, Menchia Hebi. Yanim say your friend Toma, Nasom di Sua Mobos answer, a dear nature. Yo, say, Chilena say, Omaji Atum say, Omoye Asumfo, Omo, Sum, Yawan him for. In your train, and Antini Case. Him for 3 years, a bit of the beach. In Tedro, Yanwa, Yasusa, and him for no mono, almost my Monfa, Monseneha, Mona, Oban Chene, Ona Sabe, Yasma, Yabasmawa, wouldn't necessary or they want to my Ebafom. A bit more crowd, or Mutuma Bafom, 9 grass and 64. Asiana say, your concryer, who won't say, Wulamo, one champabwa. And so no in Pakasia Pau. It is always a beer or Biabon and Tumaguna, Nan and Egu for moi, and Treso in the Paketwa. Who almost ano, lawyer for whom, engineer for whom, doctor for whom, a bit more I Juma United Nations near the other, Omo and I Gugu from Nina. And you know, a summoner and Omatia says, Oma, dear friend, say, a money and a mamreno, Omo share a manera. In the Koyan and animal and I'm so a moniamano. And Sukua or more Koyana, no more ever Quaha or Montuma, no massum.
And so, Abna Denta just asked teacher Safo Kantanka to explain to us why we have some men in the procession whose cloth is not wrapped up in the way we all are used to, but there are some whose cloth have been brought down slightly below their chest. And teacher has explained that these are men who are not just mere men because of the way they are clad in their cloth, but among them are engineers, doctors, and he drew a very significant comparative analysis between their outlook and that of the Wulomo, who represent or who holds the office of the high priest, yet his foot are flat on the ground. And he said that does not reduce or diminish their authority in any way, but it is as part of their service. That is how they are required or expected to be clad. Right. Alan Medasipi. Teacher, Wukudano Opemso Etnasiano, Yanwafenabia. Then Swane. But who said Afna Nina Abba Adentia? Yo, and no, that's wrong, Kokra. I dear Bia, Yadesum, I was anti-Mamubia, baby, I should be a zepi. And I say, or Hine Akatos and Ne, or is Kagabepi. This is Kagabepi, dear. I dear Bia, a walk or something in a home, as a zepi. In the Afna Bia, you have a cadem. In Abepi. Adia Bia, Yadesum Bia, Yunu Debia, and I who Yachebiano, a unity. As I said, the Obroni friend accountability.
as said no ma obeto ye nyina wo yinadi e de kire se we enyirai ade we ya me fa firi me nanana mo no enie mia so me de amaye nie ni nyina ode epia bonten enti se wo se ukuda no so na da eno nso se ukuda no na e da soronko sebe wone ahoho a wonma abedom no omo abeka ne ho ewo na santimamu ene omo ahunu se o medi hene bia nwu omo so enti bibia ofa ne ho ti se omo a ti se ya abotire kura wa mo bida no ofa de bi ene ode to ne tiri ha e fra no tipa so suman
na so enda wo hwe na wabo abotire
na wabo abotire enti ena ho fa ne de ahofa bibia ne wa beka dem nti se bia wo hu e wo so na ye busa e betumi aka ho asa.
And so once again Abnadenta, I would ask teacher Kantanka to explain to us how come on the Ukude when Otumfuo sat in state there weren't as many swords around, and whether that has any meaning in terms of its difference from today's seating where we have all the swords out. And teacher explained that indeed today in the grand scheme of things marks a day also when Otumfuo would account to the people of Asantemai the things that he inherited from his or the elders, and those he's also acquired while he reigned. And again, he took us back to Ukude, where he emphasized the fact that on that day, Otumfuo would say to the chiefs and people of Asantemai that he is not here to lord it over them, but he is here as their king and indeed one of them.
Right. Eti na ewonfoni ni so a mo hwe no ene eye Akwasidae mu Akwasidae ankasa ya etichu bebe abahase na Santimera waba ya enche wabetna se otna se a na fadie no ye ni teacher ebeka ho asem na bochire no obechirechire ye mu afena ahodo ni nyina no obechirechire ni nyina mu na afei yesua bibi e de afim ehyen a ewonfoni so ekonyina ye etichu a wato nsafre wonom a wo mo so eba abetan na chi amanadi ade kese no ankasa.
You're watching live feed from the Mensha Palace Park, where this morning we gathered together to celebrate Akwasidae Kesi, where Otumfuo Osei Tutu II sits in state and welcome dignitaries from the entire country as well as from the diaspora as he celebrates Ade Kesi. And just gone past our dignitaries arriving at the Durbar grounds, we're surely looking forward to receiving Otumfuo to join the Durbar. And when that comes, we will seek some understanding. In your shot is His Excellency Ex-President John Ejekum Kufuor, who has just joined the dignitaries at the Durbar grounds.
Enfoni ahwe ni sesi ya omampani dada John menhia obetai Otumfuo echi amanadi ade kese no one no na atena na ase asom na owo na no edidiye ho so na owo ho bi na enen so waba one no ebeka bom teacher omampani dada John Ejekum Kufuor sani nchifi ha
yo ofi osante here eware ne nana nti ni fie ho besi ne nyina no eye osante hene yire efie
oyo hene ase
nti oyo hene nana ayo nti efie ho nyina eka menhia ho osante hene bia aware afiri ho dane de ne na kire se sande hene yire bi kura atiase sesi a nana durowa ka oye
and so teacher has once again explained the relationship between ex-President John Agyekum Kufuor and Asantehene, and it is one of close family because Asantehene is married to the granddaughter of ex-President John Agyekum Kufuor, and for as long as Asantehene marries from that house is part of Menchia, permanently part of Menchia.
Opem so atena se omampanyin dada John Agyekum Kufuor na omanfo chia no osre kama no kwasam ne se twede mpankwa ame ne nananom so ahwe ne so amaye wo hwe se di ositi wo na ahoden da so wo ho ya nimdia so nyame de che no betimi ato aso ade aboa ade hyeman Ghana teacher
yo sede wohunu no antuma ahodo ena edi etwagui wohene de ebeba na yehu nze amanyo ayi ahusuo bia mpie ha
dabi
obi aje atumse ye kono obaba ko ema ye kono eja ba ko enananam entinye ha ene ebe kire se we party party bia wo mbia no waduru diem aha party ni nyina diem no enti saa na ye kono ye behwe a chine bebre na chine pi na edi atwaguo chine no a edi atwaguo na se ne sen asema wo ho ene se onyankopon kura obo wiase onhunu ohina pampam ohine otedam kura se chine esi ne so senga beye kura nkotika mu kura senga obi kura chine esi ne so waka no mu
enti chine na esi wo mo so no na se kire no
enti chine no de eno na kire se tumi ya nyankopon de amawo ya nyankopon no kura ode se tumi no ma obusa tumi no.
Wonderful. Teacher has just given us another significant understanding of why chiefs have umbrellas covering their head. Indeed, he picked it from the Creator, Almighty God himself, who gave or made kings. Would not see the heads of our kings, and so it also signifies the authority and power of the king. And so in his view, if it is so possible, it would have been the case that even if they're sitting in vehicles, will have umbrellas covering their head. That is also to show that God, who gave them that position, respects their office.
Who say Chineno yana BBCC Chinena pampam eno ye chiniye ntue chire eno na chire chiniye kura ye kan ho asem no okay ebi wo ho a ne hene onim ne hene chiniye de esiso enti edwana ye kese no oto nani a e chire no se wo hene e wo ha wonyirae enti ba bia wo hene wo no otu wani a wo hu se chine na ho no e wo hene chine ye ana ese wo hene de kura na je so ne wo hene bi e ya nuanom nti wo ben ho a onyirae ebi wo ho nso abo hu se hwi nsi so ye hu chine ye bi a e be sene ya na kontromfi na siso sa kontromfi no wo ye osandehene achiame no baako na ni chine ye no no ene sen ode ono na asem bi ebia bibi esi ode nani tutu foma ho se aha nkoyie na watem aka kire wo hene manka nkire wo hwe na ese babia ye na se wo hene sori a na ese wo sori nti ebia ni wa e wo kwa
ala nansa na beba no teacher we no mo no ye hwan no mo ma nwura dura wo mo hu
yo won ma ewura edura wo mo hu no eye aman bia wonu mu ene ade a broni fra ne se nature omo ben ade a ye fra no se amamre pa ne kwaye ya omo timo no omo de kire se yen ye ti kwayem ye kwayemfo
na womo ye womo ju ha sesi ya so eye hwan no ma
we no mo ye womo frefra fufuo ne ayi no eye womo ba ba chia wo hene du hwemu a udumu se oman bi foforo so ene womo aba na womo ba oman bi ti se tepa ono eye ogina ho emma oye wulomo senga ba bi a ti senkran a ke ba fra ne se bosom kese ene wo hweso and oman bi ti se aguna konfanoche ena di ho hene enti womo so ba se ya enti sama mani nyina na se ba bia wo firi ba bia organa ha bia no wode abosomsam na eba de a ena nsumankwa na ye se nsumankwa ni ho a utimi ko omu bia ho nsumankwa ho so a utimi ko omo so ho nti wonyira womo no omo so punuro e ka punuro a je se incense enya broni ena de incense ba ye ye incense dada ya friend punuro ye woni dini eno no omo de betwa mu ha no omo de pam money a ya je se ebe ye se aba ha se ebedi bone.
You just observed some members in the procession clad in white burning incense in pots over their heads, and a teacher has just explained that these are others from outside of Santimai, and he mentioned Tepa, he mentioned Aguna, who are here to also pay homage, and the essence of the incense they carry is to ward off evil spirits or people who have evil spirits and intend on disrupting or taking away the beauty of what we could see. He also earlier mentioned how the little or the stuffs you see on top of our umbrellas determines what kind of umbrella it is. Indeed, the various umbrellas around here, each and every one of them have their own meaning and significance in terms of our traditions and our rulerships.
Usha mfoni ya nananom jache hima ena waya ne dancing kama wote hono teacher ede say bi edra ada obia fa no ho adentia
yo samre no ade a osandehene eye no ena obia ehwe no so aye bie eti ese aboa bia do sade a osua preko enti so osandehene afa no ho a otimi kura ka se mesramo mo ba no obia mfa no ho enti ma ensuro se obefa ho fa wo ho ekwam bia opese wo fa ho ekoduru bia fa ho manu koduru sa enti ahofa ne de eduru edwaboda se ya eya ukudeo eya kosideo eya de kasio ene eda no na ye di bronya
ya se bronya so de fa ye ho enti na so bia fa no ho no kwasama na afade e wo manhia ha efe pa wo hu ahofa basa bia wa ha se obia yiyi no ho basa bia e wa ha se Alan.
And so once again you heard teacher explain the significance of the various cladding or outfits you have seen, some currently flowing on your screens, and he had said the nature of the gathering made it so in that you cannot appear before Opimso in any cladding that is of any lesser consideration.
Teacher say we get infonia one more ekwe
Gamanche Nite Kutakichu currently arriving with a good procession, and so you can hear the Ochami sounding appellations of the Gamanche as he arrives, and interesting, but he mentions Ashiedu Keteke. Ashiedu Keteke happens to be the highest appellation of the Gamanche, and it talks about, or it signifies the gathering of all the Dangme people. And he mentioned Abakumawo, that royals don't serve royals, and so we'll have others coming to serve us.
When you na kabom Emma amambre eyefe asantemai opemso di mfia duonunum yenuanom enkranfo ewo hase e kire se yenyina ya ba konti emrane a wote se ye bono Gamanche eduru hase ya oba abeka ninua ho amano edi Akwasidae. Teacher
yo adia feye said ya kano ayi obi omu framan ena aba behia omu ebe ma osantene ammo na woda odi yehu se Gamanche ne no kwa sore yehu se achima buakwa ochehene enso ene ne kwa sore bi na esa ababiem oba no nso enkran mputamu bebre kan ho bai yatu ani a ye be hu se nungwa wulomo babu wulomo ono so ne dom aban kesipa ya chese enya asam ketwa chese enkrama no eda ho no eya man akese kopem gadangbe enti enkrana ngasa na ewo ho no eno ho ena Dangbe nso ho na omu nyina aka omu ho abomu ana omu fra no Gadangbe na omu nyina ba ko ba omu nya ono nko amana ma omu aka nyina nso ka ho amana ba se ewuramu a obahu se la fo wa ha la aka ne wa fra na labadi ha yo se la fo wa ha nungwa fo wa ha tashi wa ha osu omu nyina wa enti sankranse oba ohu ba kwa ohu dodo nye ba ko pe na ohu no omu nyina ka ho na mbempi no Gamashi na ewo mfimfia te mbempi no ono na yebo ono na titi ho no one abrofu sankese nti one abrofu sankese no na bibia ngrafo nyina pene so se Gamashi ahimfie eho no mbeko meeting enti se Gamanche eduru ha de a Gamashi de oda wo mano no enkra no so eda ho no o ma bia obobodi bia ga eka ho ga nungwa ga teshi ga la ga tema ga njuti ga dia na kire se eyega.
Yes, so teacher has explained again the United Dangme kingship, arrival here by the Gamanche King Niteko Takichuru, followed by the various sub-stools or different paramountcies within the Ga state. And so you have the La, Nungwa, you have the Gamashi, you have Osu, you have Teshi, and then you also have parts of Tema. And then, so it normally would say, Kajasege, Kagbe, Adan, Shra, Alo Kaje Shra, Kagbe, Adan, and that gives you a certain understanding of the Gamanche and the kind of procession that comes with him. And because the Gamanche has been especially invited, he wouldn't come by himself. He came with all the various members of the Ga state, in which case you have, I've seen some of the La flags, I've seen some of the flags from Osu, even some from the Gamashi itself, following the Gamanche Niteko Takichuru.
Yeah, SCCano eche enkabomu a oman Ghana ewo. Ene na kire se social media nsensam no kwaso de na nso enkanyen. Wo hwe de asi wa hanne yi a saa entitimu kasa no enya adwuma ewa ha sei. Omanfo eda so gitumu se ye baako na ye nyina ye nuano.
Etisa se ebu nkompoko e chikura no a ubohu se oba santimemu a na nsan almost wrong on my Cassibi was Antina Prempe, ya Tosumianu. Ukomwa, Obo say, Yanin Grand for a before Yenina Afrifaco, Israel, and Egypt. And Yenina Yaquaquayani Abipia, and Yanum Fritity. Name and Grophobia from a politician for. One woman, my yam and fear brain. Akwaya say, and go in Chai, a man way, and a cow. Which is an animal who, then almost in the Abia on Bacohodia. I just a bit me up a pack, sir, or 10
The beauty of what you see this morning, once again, teacher explained that we have not yet, and we are yet to see any division amongst the various chiefs and kings gathered here, and he explained it has nothing to do with who we are. Indeed, historically we have all come from one place, either Israel or Egypt, arriving here having fought our various wars and having settled. But something of very recent years, which is politics, is what seeks to divide us, and that is what would say you belong to that faction or this faction. But if our kings and chiefs have observed and realized that we're all the children of one mother, then there is no need as creating divisions, and so unity in there lies our strength, and that is what you see on display this morning here at the Menchia Palace.
We have Enfoni Eswa, Chief of Staff, and Afan Hokama no Mame Otumfuo Osei Tutu, Wafana Hokama. Also, Edi Akotene wo Opemsuo dwumadie mu pa. Efri na ase asori no Edi besine ni nyina owo mu bi. Na teacher ma mmisa o. Ono so ene Opemsuo wo twaka bi ana.
Yo, ono enso ni maame ne papa nyina present memo ha. Na ne papa ena ye sansidi so. Nipa edi ka governor of Bank of Ghana ni din ko sidi so Mami ni papa. Ndi ni papa. Ndi wonye ni paketwa. Na enipa akasi bia omu yi omu ti wo santima mu bia no. Woya na ebebe wie osantehene aboboa no. Enje emfa won se wo brekum. Emfa won se wo tuabodom. Emfa won se wo kofodua. Ade a wo ye bia asantesam. We are bia wajatum se sikadwa no wontwe ho mfiri ho na wo ka ho de enti ono so ne papa wasom pa ene ono so egusu a osom.
And so we just saw the Chief of Staff, Honorable Frema Opari, who went greeting the dignitaries not too long past. Mami would ask teacher whether she has any ties to Menchia, and teacher took us back in history, telling us that she is not a mere individual when it comes to the things of Asantemai, and that Madam Frema Opari happened to be the daughter of the first governor of the Bank of Ghana. And indeed, having served this nation as well as Asantemai, it is impossible, or it would not be that she would detach herself from Sikejakufi, which is the gold stool of Asante. And so whoever comes, Asante is open arms, receive you. And because she continues in the service of state and nation, so indeed she does. And that's why she's here this morning as well to serve.
Teacher say who can say obia owo bekum ana akofodua ontwe ne ho mfiri sikadwa ho no ene no safo ni nyina aba ebebi ati say yenuanom bi wo wrawra omonso aba wrawra ho aba kwasem no senate
o wrawra Asante ya besinde nyina omo ankasa agitum se omo eka Asante ho a omo ntwe omo nana onmu wo kontas no ewo amanse ben e friend say lake bosomtwe ho na ne wo mo wo ena ekonkese bi esi Asantemamu ena omo kobo omo ho adwa ewo wrawra eno omo ne insuta ena kire se onmu omo enyina aye ayokofo nti omo ka ayoko obusua no ho ayoko no na osantehene na da no nti ayoko busua no wonu ka ho dendende nti ye ka say omo ne dwaben na etibomu omo ba mkotena omo nua no nkyɛn dwaben kokofu bekwai omo nyina na wurawura busua kɛseɛ ba
wohwɛ emfoni ya emema ya omodo omontuma esi omubui teacher sa wohwɛ sa entakra bi na edi ahim ɛwɔ hɔ no a ɛno ɛwɔ dwuma pɔti bi di ana
yo jeje baby a yehim ntakra de na ntakra no so yehim no wo sɛ ahosuo no ɛyɛ fɛfɛɛfɛ na ɛba saa ɛne na yɛde kyerɛ de yɛde kyerɛ ade a ɛfɛ yɛde kyerɛ ntakra no sukura ya kambom na je se kambom asam ena ntakra no eka ye frɛ no kokosese na kokosese no eye ostrich ntakra
ya abo suhuri
ai ono no kokosese.
Okay, so Mami would ask about the waving of a certain feathers. And teacher explained that it stands for unity. It comes from the bird ostrich, and it is painted or it's clad in certain colors, which signifies the history that we can all see here.
Right. Osha infoni etwa mu sese ya yehu emema omukura etuo. Etuo no menim say ya tuntu hene. Ananta esoso wo ho. Wonom adwumadie no ene say.
Yo atumtufoɔ no omo boss antehene ho bai na omo doso no omo boss antehene ho bai ene yi emu mienu bia ananta ene adan
ba so ananta hene ene ha na oto na tuo no aha
so a lawyer by profession.
Wow.
Ena ye wo ba ko bi so ka no ho wono so ya dade so aba wo mu ne special division ya omo na omo boss antehene ho bai enji obi ti se Bantima hine eduru ho no okoche asante hina yema ne yi ne ho ne ma nyina agina tuo ene ne bi bia gu nkyɛn ansa na wakoche asante ne okoba ye de na de ama
eno adenti a oya ne nti omo nyini ni ana asese
bibi asipen emre bi BBC ya na chese ku attempt ABC titi ho no ema sebe enipa yekum wo mo e ku attempt mu nya asam ketua nimienu so enimprenu so nso bibi sasi ya ne nyina no na sabia nyado ehemfo akese bi tese omo ho bomu saade a ene ye bo ahemfo mienu a wo ba wo mu na babo osande no ba wuduru ho a ye yi ho ne ma nyina na ye gya kwan ya tutuo aguachi apamo ono nso kwa oduru baby a ne territory mu a no nso adane atu agum no nso ato sama maduru baby a mo nso mo mema momra enti
what a beauty, history is so sweet.
Enti esi ename ne wokasa ebesi ubohu se sankrofo no omo afra ntuma tuntum no kire se wo mo abo omo ho omo awiata so se de ebesie bia ombabo ohene ho bai nti wo mo wokum ya omobo ohene ho bai etuo no so ekura omo no ebia wone hene.
Wow.
Ehemfo edunsia ana abedi santehene santehene bia ba obotuo baako.
Okay.
Enti omo awukro no omo tuo ana ye de bo santehene ho bai ye de gina na chi e kire se ye ne ho ye bebo ho bai owuo mo nkwamu e bebo ho bai enti omo kwotena se a omo kwokye omo na dika abachia obia de ne tuo e kire ohene na okogina na chi etuo no enti Osei Tutu etuo wom ni tuo no ewodin
se tuo dikan
e frɛ na Japoma.
Okay.
Na Japoma no eye ne yire angasa eduru ba bi no kane na sabe ye de nipa yi musuo ya enkonhye ba ye se yemfa oba nyi musuo omoto omo ani ba bia ye hu no oba bia osante yene yire ene ye de ni yi musuo. Nti owie no ena omo ne toma da nasene omo tie no omo de bo etuo no ne nyina botuo no frɛ etuo no Ajapama osante yene yire Ajapama. Nti Osandene Osei Tutu nituo ejapoma ya bo ho hene ya ono no dem embembi no ekura no opokware nso baaye onso so ebo nituo ya efra no ntwa nti
ala na de anya sam keso menhia o
efra no
menhia ye beje
opokware jo efra no sikantwa no ohine bia botua no asan bo afra aka ho endo Osandene oti o sesi ei Osandene Osei Tutu a otoso mienu ono ne tuo e de esremu sei jata ena afra nso wabo ena wa ya abosode atoso eno nso efra no esremu sei jata ohine wo ba obotuo no wabo afra nti himfo a wo omotuo no nyina etuo no a ejina ohine agi no ekire enkabo mu etuo a yede adi akon age santimasi ho ena yede gina wachi.
Indeed, we wanted to understand the various guns being fired and their significance, and teacher has taken us all the way back in history. In fact, two significant ones he mentioned, and I'll quickly recap on them, was the one by Nana Osei Tutu the first, whose wife's name is on the gun, and today the gun as it is carried also bears a significant personal effect, which happened to be the bead around her waist hang on the gun, and that has its own story on there. And for the sake of time, I will just mention that personal effect, which is the bead, still hangs on the gun today, and there is a chief who carries that gun and comes to show up himself when he sits in state each time that is. And there's also the ones recently created by Otumfuo himself, which is known as the Nana Prempeh's gun is referred to as Ejapoma because that's his wife's name, and then Otumfuo's gun is known as Esremu Seijata. And he also has a sword which bears the same Esremu Seijata name. And there is a special let me say animal which signifies a Esremu Seijata. Teacher, would you tell us what that is?
That is the lion, the master of the forests and the grassland. And sa Esremu Seino ekirese Osandene na ho nyina ka e kana ho enti na o se Esremfo no ya ne ma enti asem ba ya odi asem no o se me ma ebesi na nyina ogitum se Esrem ho nyina ya ne ma ene wo ho se ne ma na wo de a na kire se ono nso obo ne ma ho bai enti Esrem sei jata o se no ne wan o se ne Osei Tutu ha ena jata a o Esrem enti Esrem ka ono no ho edana kuma so
teacher juta kudu apie ne me hwehwe ma se me hu sikadwa me hwehwe bad me nya hu no so mana baba dia o ma ya kochia o hene no o ma hu se sininsa benkum so sikadwa no
wodi si akonwa so sikadwa na ngasa e woni chine ya edisi so e wona akonwa otena so enti pie edwomu a obakọ ne nchen nesi wo se baba nko ade a.
So we can look forward or look out for Sikadwa, the gold stool, which will today be on display. It has its own umbrella and has its own seat. And once Otumfuo sits in state, that stool, the golden stool, will be seated next to him to his right.
Ohine a otwa mu sesia ye nana amakomhene aha ono na ona afa ne ho kama pa ena de eburo nya ankasa nananom afa wonom eho na ne ko mu ntwiaban no betima ka bi kakra fa
yo aye akoma ena na eda ne koma so hu se de yesi aye no no a enti obia ode akoma beto no koma so na gese o kasa kire na manfo se o momodin se o mbenya akoma ade a efre na akoma o mo benya bi enti ade a kasa na saa makomfoi omo na efa ko nkransa enti besi ne omo ne nkransa fo nyina ye nipa baako enti asem si nkransa omo na kohwe asem su si amakom nkransa fo ena behwe
na chese se de wusi kan semi we mo amakomfo ebi akopie nkransa kontansefo ebi akopie rara chese ya ho na mo be bia yakotena no na asesa
brekum efra sokore ya eben efijase anase eben gabe enti wo nyina ya busua baako eko nafo efa ena kotena brekum enti eyire paso obi betimi afiri brekum abedi akonwa ewo asokore ena asokore so betimi akodi akonwa ewo
waka dwabe de ma memisa asembi ene ye tie ne atenetene sani abakosem ne tie eye de na dwabemfo ni bi ekopie epoye mantem
o sesi ene se nuanom no eduru bere bi a ekon timisi entem enje dwaben ene asante yene nuanom na ntokwasi wo montem bemprenu ndi ndokwa esi ye no sagrenti sanumu no BBC ema gabenu tuko Eastern region
Yugufobia
ema wo asante yemfunu biba ene wo bekasa yama ebiba ema bika ho ena eko binsu si wakatamansu 1826 Sakono UK Britain Danes Denmark for ena Holland for ena coastal states ni nyina nkran Cape Coast Everland omu nyina beboa ye kan mu bomba ko ene asante kon asante edi nkuguo ewo saa ekonum na sikadwa ekokon bi ebise asante yene osaya akoto ekokon bi baby o sante yene bakokun bia no sikadwa nso pie hobi no man baby e bia fa na chese ekoye kasakasa ebeto dwaben ene kumasentem enti sa kasakasa no bae no enna ekoswa kopem se omumienu eribomu ntokwa enti bronikasa mo ebekasa gam battle okay enti ebasa no na se kumaseso sande ne ekonde a ese amama no aka no ebo asante enji ma dwabe ahode ye ketwa enji omo bo dwabe enji dwabe no nanka uyi kumase a kura na so pa no na ye dwabe santo kwa mienu nti dwabe boy ena omo koye no koye no ena nsante ne foforo bae no si minua na okoye no ya woni munya ntokwa no yenkama ni ntwa ena dwabe mfo se saa ene na kumase fo a wo asoja fo a di kan no wo di ekon na nimu no nyina yenkum obia na yemfa no emre dwaben okufodua ansana yehuna yebeba ope santiman kambo munti yedi wo yi musuo sa yemfunu nyina anokure yekum wo mo ema dwaben boto ne yem no san bae ene faka hoja na ofase ho eno ne kofodua no ene omo so san bae no omo afa no omo chichire omo man 1835 enti asante de revolutions upon revolutions esim ya na ne kan eden we bogu Yana and some of you are Nikan, and so I had the Suantino. You pay me Bia Gunja Eka, Casamoya making. Gamia never from it. So now, so none of my jatum say, they say they are the Suantino.
It's me,
sick. We are troubled.
Teacher.
Chabadom.
Okay. That's Chabadom Mahene.
Wow.
Okay. You're still watching live feed from the Menchia Palace as Otumfuo Osei Tutu II sits in state to celebrate Akwasidae Kese, and it is hugely significant because it marks, as part of the celebration, this year marks the 150th anniversary of the Sagarenti War and the 100th years of the return of Nana Prempeh I from the Seychelles Islands. It also significantly marks the 74th birth year of Otumfuo Osei Tutu II and the 25th year of his reign as Asantehene. We're still seated with teacher Safo Kantanka, who is bringing us up to speed with history and present history and past history.
Nananom amai hene a efi bono womu nyina ba ama yefe Alan.
Yes.
Enche pe yehu ti obodon mai hene.
Yes.
Ena afia pre e mai hene susu na ena yehu ni. Na se nsama ya tetie no nyina ya nokure. Omu nyina da susum sikadwa.
Omu nyina sum sikadwa. Enti omu mfa ho se de baabi omu asua ngoma koduro. Omu mfa edura mamre so a omu de omu ngoma sam to nchen kora. Fe prehine ya kan ono ye vice chancellor University of Technology
Mines Technology was yes.
Accra mewa. Trabodom we a lawyer. Say kasi ye bobo ayimfo wo mo enwoma wo mo sua wa ha. Adaje babo ye. Wo mo ye nwoma suafo. Ne ye kon ye kan ye hu se dwaben hena ba. Obi bobu sasare ndi na dwaben hene mpempi no wasantehene kura. Obia koto no ono betra sansa na dwaben hena ba.
Adentia.
Satia ne se dwaben hene eye wasantehene enua kuma. Ana ode trimude akonwa amano. Enti zandene na betra se no obasuma ame akofre dwaben hene. Obasuma mpomponso hene se kofre dwaben hene se matena se omra. Okwa omma. Obasa suma de toso mienu okwa omma. Obasuma de toso miansa ansana waba. Oditimude.
Teacher, let's quickly get some correction on this. I have observed how you Sikeja or Sum Sikeja, but we have also another saying to this saying. Is it Sikeja the people serve or Asantehene?
No, Asantehene a caretaker of Sikeja, and you are not Asantehene and go Sum Sikeja.
Teacher Mary Otumfuo afadie ene. Yansha se mfi na botire no eso.
Nyanwu na botire no. Nyanwu. Yo. Yo, obi nka obi.
Obi nkabi.
Obi nka obi.
Obi nka obi.
Ma yenyina yeni agrombom yenya bibia mom ba yenhwe se yemfum yenua endi obu yebe
na
botire no ebu yebe se obi nka obi yenyina yete Ghana mom yenhu se Ghana na yete no yebetra na asumdwemu kwa abra obi emfa obi anim ntwitwi fom.
Mabidenta asked teacher to explain the headgear Otumfuo had on his head or has on his head as he arrives in state. And teacher has beautifully in the language of the proverb, which is don't offend the other. don't offend the other, and that is so significant in that this seating, this gathering is one of joy and peaceful celebration, that brothers shall live together and observe this anniversary in its beauty. Mami.
Sir, Alan and Chassier and Anchiremu a teacher Diama or Hinabuchi. Essay, Yeshua Yamamre, Nayahu. Anyasa, Unim Abochene Casatre, Naso Sawan Tiasia, Unia or Patre, not just at Sinananum. Asabu or Mocatre, or Mumio Manonka, or Mutimede, or Mafadie, Ecasatre.
Ya Fadiano, enjoy it. A Casa, the Casa, Ewo, Afadianum, enjoy it, Ewa Fadianum, Sanka, Abrafama, and Gabicra said, Ya Fadiano, said, Yesi, Ayanono, Enka, Eretocrataswa, Gabacasam, said, China, or more, by 3,000 alphabets. And Tingayan's 10,000 alphabets. Nganyade bone efise ya fade ni nyina kasem
esa se tomre bia e bia obi gina edom mu ya ade untimi mie wa no wo pesa oye nsakraye bi untimi mie wa no enka na betimi de eniye bi aka na so betimi de nsankyereni bi kwa akere no na nka wate ase ti se de ohene de na bochire kasa kire ye nyina ye wa hei na soso ene no ya de afade no kwa kasa kire ya ye ntiase ye nim de kire
maame na afade no kwa ye nim
afade no mpo ye nim eti akoya rahu sembi de amaye na ni na atwa kowie ye de ya to atwene a ya kofa akwasi broni de ene abesense yeko
yo said planning committee omo yi nipa bia omo pa se omo beka ye ho na nkyerɛkyerɛ mu no baako ne boarding from pon nti ekwamba mu a obaba beboae na de wo se ekoba no nyinaa no asem bia antuma kora efrefra nkrofo no antuma nankasa kora kasa nti ye wo na so hene ntuma efra no no epia ye bedimo maame kwadu na Ajema Rollins ono ne no entuma na efra no ye fra no adwin esi adwin so
wisdom on wisdom,
yeah. Design upon design
so
where ye adwin
okay design yeah
adwin esi adwin so
madwin ko si adwin
say adwin no na de ye adwin no enti ka na sa enye nyanwa pi
You teacher, I was earlier taken aback by a comment you made, and that drew my attention to also a question I asked Mami Denta earlier about why we tend to look down on our traditions and uphold constitutions as though they are more mighty and powerful than our traditions. Meka fa ya manye ne ya mamre ya ye toto nase na mom ye hunu wo broni de se eno e chen ye de e den na man ba ne sa
yo de man ba sa ne se obroni e be fa ye nomum e de ye hye na se e ma ye de ono pe na wo ye ne ma mienu o de suku bae e no de asore bae na sa suku ni asore enumu na o de ese yen ya mane ne amamre Emma, you who say, Yamani Amamre no, a bosom some, and I abon some, name Omodiano, and a Benyame, a Yamsam. Anna, Oko school sooner, etro, no one trones are, what you and you ordered the Musa and you woman as I say, you who said the beat, as I say, as a son of a crack. Emani.
Doctor, this is a new concept to Ghana and to our council alone. If you study history, it tells you that when you are conquered, when you overcome in whatever way, whether it's economic or social, if you don't try, you lose your identity entirely. So it is up to us to try and revive it as we've been doing today. It is not an easy thing at all, where 90% of what you are taught is foreign to you, all the subjects. We are not even examined on our own history these days.
Not at all.
Look into it. In the past, we were doing Ashanti history and other history, but we are not doing it. So our culture is, if you don't take care, to go extinct. But we should try and revive it. But when we say culture is our way of life, we may not lose all entirely.
No.
We may not lose all entirely. So what we have, we need to revive it.
Okay. Right. Now, Dr. Ejako, wabeka yensa. Now, no so eyi Alan asembisano ano efa ya mamre ya awe hosam ne se asa ya tododo na egu na yakofa kwasi bronu die na me pese me bisa doctor suku ne die kwa ya beko yeguso yeguso aso esua adesua de ahodo a suku no e de amaye se pa de pa na ye be ya ebema ye ma ye wo mu nnei abeso ya mamre ni
se ya bakosem yen ayasem ebe ye ade a eye so ye ho hwe ho a examinable subject then by say many agi say wo hwe school sani omu se ye na JHS na baby awo bia esese wusua okasa ba akoko ho say mate say homa dodo na omu sua ni nyina so am na ye num eno kura enum no omu de abakos ye de ya member mu asem beka ho say wusua kasa bia wusua kasa na mane endi say yen amane no eye examinable anasa ya de a ye bu ho akonta ye so ye hwe ho a ye besua eno ne sese ye ankane no na omo amusua yesu no say if you go I will go with you. Oh, woni mo henu kura o kan sa e na asem ye kan ne ye kire ya santo wa asem ye kire dagoma asem ye kire yendi asem bupe asem nyina ye twkrata e wo omo obeto nya krata bia na ye twra na babo ntini adisua de debi ye ne sa e wo se ba ye hwese na ye hia no e wo mu ansa ana wona kasa ne ye won dia no wonti me ntwiro krata na kasa no mo ye omu dia no kura no omu ehunu se na esitie wonti me ntwiro menhia won asem ebra won fa ma ye me nka ntwiro se no kure sa na tie na watwiro na da pa na eka ko ebi o hokura de watwiro no enya dia enya no kure nko an hia na egu kasa ko no hu fi emwa enti ebe hia se kasa de dikan ye be kire no school na ebu ho akonta na fe enwoma na ye twira enye me wo nwoma ni mu no kasakuo no e so ye de ko no mu jitu mu se ampa de matworo ye no kure
doctor me sa ba hobiem ende ye betimi aye nsakra bi se nei no se one maths English science untimi nko wanim ye betimi de ye kasa se higher santime betimi de asante twi wo ko mfante wo ko nkai wo ka anwona abeka ho se nipa no timi twa maths no timi twa no krom kasa na wa ntwa broni kasa akra obetimi akosa nsakra na beba bo
eya we ho se ye nimpe fe de ha ye ne mom se ye be ye no ye ntimi ye me hu ni entia se obi ampase ye nkontabu ane bofo kasa ye mane nkode akra o won fie be se du 9 na ya mana ka ho ye chese wo sua de awie wo wie school de bida me sania yesi eye Ghana hihye no eni sa akura bia ni wo ko school e kasa wa feli sade na si etwa mu kura sania si kire ya de na enye me ye teacher ni a me kira de e ka madwuma ho na me hu se sania ye si kire ya de na enye ya ka omu nyina bom na ya hihye wo ye the first wo ye the second wo ye na mom de wari no de onim kura de do first no onim ade ko esesem kura na ba na ye assessment ewu ba bia obi ada omo classroom ho nenso nya de kro no mu nyina asua eni sa de kro na ye di ma omu se obi amu hu akonta debi ade a ye be ka se wanko school da enti onim nwoma no ede nwoma book no da ho no wonti benkai na mo betima ya akonwa enu ti yesre se yen hwehwe se ade kire no yensesem kura sabi ko hene ba enche kura na kotoko hene odi ego
anugusu awo kasa de obeboa ye na wa kire ne ma na edi nanim ne mu maako amaye sa ntakra bebrebe no e kire sen
sabre entakrache ono a so de kuta pomponsu ana wode pie edwam ho no ebi adi kan ko em se ya nhwe so wo hwɛ de di kan pa obi a ɔso pan kɛse bi a ha manwum no saa de ne yɛfrɛ no samanka na wo di wo hene nim pa no a de ɔso samanka no ɔso ofra ntoma fufuo no ɔno na pie kane na wadu nsumankwaafo so nsumam nyinaa yɛ nsumankwaafo ɔmo na ɛprapra kwa mu eyi ahomone firi hɔ ma yɛ wura etimi bɛtena se de ma hui ɔmo ayɛ bi ɛwɔ dan mu ansa na ɔmo de bi ɔmo de apie yi de ɛmɛ na bɔnten ne mo mo apra bia ma na firi hɔ na efiri hɔ a ɔbɛhu sɛ enipa bi kuta nsafoa wɔhuru sɛ nkramofoɔ bi hyɛ nkramokyɛ anɔpa yɛ kyerɛ mu sɛ obi a ɔba bɛsoma santi biara no yɛde no ɛka fekuo baako enti ɔnom no yɛde ɔmo ka nsomankwaa enti wobɛhuru sɛ enipa bi ekuta nsafoa ɔmo yɛ fotosanfoɔ na ɛkyerɛ sɛ wɔhe naba asɛm asa efie no yɛatoto mu nyinaa a yɛ nsafoa mmienu baabi a wɔteɛ ɛne ahemfie hɔ
na ahene mɛ
ɔne mpaboa hene sika mpaboa ɛne kuta mpaboa hene no ɛkyerɛ sɛ ebi bia yɛwɔ ne yɛde kyerɛ mu yɛde kyerɛ no no mpaboa yɛ nyinaa yɛ mpaboa ɔhene hyɛ ɔwɔ sɛ yɛhyɛn enti na yɛpie no deɛ yɛwɔ bia yɛde kyerɛ yɛmfa biribiara nsie enti deɛ yɛwɔ yɛda mu nyinaa nananom ɛtoa so nyinaa yɛn hɛi deɛ ɔkuta mpaboa ɔhwɛ mpaboa so wɔ hene deɛ ɔhwie ne nsama no no anonom nsa hene nso so wɔ hɔ deɛ ɔsɔ ne sisi ɛnso so wɔ hene so ne sisi hene wɔn mu nyinaa wɔn mu nyinaa yɛ ahemfo a sɛ nyɛ wɔ hene nim na wɔn di anka kyerɛ sisi wɔn so kyerɛ sisi wɔn so na wɔn nyinaa wɔ fekuo mu ɛni sɛ wɔn ba mpaboafoɔ no wɔn deɛ ɔkuta mpaboa no wɔn anim no na kyerɛ sɛ fekuo wɔhunu deɛ wɔdi kɛn wɔhunu pefee wɔhunu pefee sɛ nsuman aka ɛwɔ ne ho paa nsuman nkwafoɔ no ebi no wɔn ne ɔhene doctor ɛno ne yɛbɛka no physician wɔn na wɔn yɛ ɔhene duro paa ɛnti nsuman nkwafoɔ wɔn ase na abosom ne adeɛ ɛwɔ ha nyinaa hyɛ ɛnti bosom ne adeɛ nyinaa hyɛ ewura ase ɛnti yɛn nsom bosom nya bosom no ne yɛsom no wɔn na ba na wɔn abɛyɛ adwuma maa na aka no wanka ne yɛ kureti mpamo ɛbo yɛbɛkyerɛ mu kakra
sɛdeɛ na dɔkta ɛka no sumankwaafo no wɔn na yɛ ɔhene duyɛfoɔ wɔn sɛ yɛ kane tete no na adɔktafoɔ sɛdeɛ ne yɛhu no ɛni hɔ na yɛn akanfoɔ no yɛwɔ gyidie sɛ nipa biara sunsum na ɛtiw mu na sunsum no a ɛwɔ mu no ɛne okra no sɛ fi kana na okra no pɛ so sunsum no pɛ sɛ firi nipa dua no ma na ma ho dodo na ɛno ɛna wɔ sɛ pro bi a wɔwɔ ani na ɔkɔte ahaban bi na ɔde bɛsɔw na sunsum no ɛtena ase sɛ yɛhu wɔ mu ana ɛkyɛ bi teta wɔ mu apampam ɛnsaniafoɔ no no na ɔmo yɛsoma wɔn sɛ ɔhene soma na sɛ wɔanum bi ka ho ana gye sɛ asɛm no ahu ne ɛtɔ so mmienu ɔmo nso so na ɛma asomdwe bɛ fie yɛmfa ne sɛ ɔmo keep order nti wo ba mfie asi tie court trials ɔmo na tie mu tu yɛ dede wɔ hɔ a ɔmo adwuma no na yɛsoma nso a ɔmo ne yɛsoma nti sɛ yɛsoma ne ade afena na sɛ ne ani ka ho deɛ a ne gye asɛm no emu ayɛ du ɛnsaniafoɔ no no
yɛhu ntahra
ɛdi a
nkyɛ bi ɔmo sɛ ɛbaeɛ kɔntwoma
ɛno yɛ nkɔntwoma mmɛn no ɛno nsɛ mmɛn no ɛdɔɔso na sɛdeɛ santene na ɛba ne sitiɛ no obiara wɔ baabi a odi sɛdeɛ ɛhyɛ aseɛ no yɛde firi samanka so a samanka firi hɔ pɛ na twene baako pɛ bi a ne dua no mu yɛfrɛ no prɛmpɛtwene na no aba na prɛmpɛtwene no firi hɔ a ɛna sika mpaboa ɛbaeɛ no na nkɔntwoma mɛn no aba ansa na wɔfiri nkɔntwoma na ne yɛkɔ nsafoa yɛfiri nsafoa a ne yɛkɔ nkotokuwa no firi hɔ no ɛna yɛbɛduru nsaniafoɔ no
nkotokuwa no yɛ deɛ ya mɔtɔ
enti sɛ yɛhwɛ a santene ne ba wo sɛ obiara wɔ baabi odi obi ntimi mfiri baako anim ɛnkɔ hyɛ baabi saa pepepe enti enhyehyeye eda ho we ye sana foto we sika ene wom oh
also who said your entakrache no
something never know baby no and your son takrache no every mu kakra ekomo ya no san be di baby na
yeah wa shasa achene mpompon so hine said na doctor eka no mpompon so hine no wa ya afna so ani eno craft na wasan ye Otumfuo chiame enti ono no Otumfuo be free aba no Otumfuo watimi na ni hunu ade wo hu de ekoso odwom ha to otimi suma ne se kodwom na fko ka chama chiame anase nananom se metene a meba enti ono no oba be se nananom o mo ho nyina se ebradru se kura bia asante kotokoyene wo tene ba ena banwoma ena ewo no yaka banwoma eyo osono nwoma eya wota ate se kotokohene a wote banwoma so eno ene yede beto ho na sante hene watena so ena sikadwa so yedi asiso
anda jata no so
jata nwoma no so no esem se jata no no krobe asante kotokohene wote se jata otisrem enti wotena se a yede banwoma ana se jata nwoma ene sefe manitase ti se wo hu banwoma wo hu jata yede banwoma no beto di sikadwa so ni ade same say nto enwoma no so ase ho na kotokohene watena so
okasiano ebefa esono de obi anim so so diskadwa na betena so no so na osantine nso atena banwoma no so jata enwoma no so we krokrowa no ohene enan ene odi siso otrasia na odi nan asisi krokrowa oshambabo ade enso odi omfane nan sifom osani sisi krokrowa no so
emen ya etwam ye
emen ahodo enso ene wo ahimfia enso bia nso sabo ho nso nti wo se ye bo men no a omo ye bo no ye nipa nso ene ye bo men nso ene san ye enso nti group enso ene bia nso ye nso nti ade a number 7 no anase eyi enkuntabuo mu no ade a toso nso no enye yeba no sere nananom kase ye free Israel ne Egypt no besi ne omoje sa na manidi sa no manu bi ena ye keka bomu a ye hu se ye nyina ye free faako
yo enti da bi mutimi kase ye hu mu Israel for no
so ba ya obi wu a ye se ye di abuada enankuno ebesi ne nyina Israel for di abuada enankuno yene wo man ko anso ena yesa nje ye no ma no esese ye no ma no sesa na de na kire se ye hu ba ko an o ka se bitekuduo ya sa bitekuduo no eno pia epie pe na ohina pie uhu wani boss wa na je se ohina enso so eba
na teacher mpempi no samanka no o ma na so hu se do bia na eden wo mo na na de ogina hodi
yo hum ena sabe ewomu ena ede no kona ede no ba nti hum no entwetwe no a ogina no ba bi eba de a ena ewuso no mukura yese akwabrane be se mienu ana de brosa eyire no ansana ogina pinti
do so samanka no wono ena sese yen eba nyina wono na ni hunu ade pa to wona ehwe kwam ye kasamanka no esunsum mu asem ti ahombone ahodo a eba ha epese bese kwam de probe asante kotoko hene de ba opese obeyi bi hwe no wona ehwe so obepam saa ahombone no enti wo hyebia ena na awaso wane na eyire so eno na na yeso wonko ti samanka no de so no sa ohene tene neso ontu ne nan a santene no ebe gina hwa ne duru ba bi na ya den so a subankwa hene nan kasa e de shinap ebe ba be yi apaye wonu e woni tiri so ho ama de wohu no watimi atene
right ma yaka ekrom kasa ma Alan
We are seeing a procession of the king. Procession is very important, and it shows the people you have. By tradition, no chief is supposed to walk alone.
Yes.
If you are even in a private trip, you are not supposed to walk alone. So this is a sign of it. We are going to see a very long procession for today. The first person to appear, or the first group, are called the Otumfuo, and they are the physicians of the king. And these people are the physicians. So somebody is carrying something on his head, with some herbs, and that is driving the spirits away. They have eye to see what is bad here, bad spirit. So they are moving. They are moving in. Now, what is happening is that the golden stool is entering. It's about gold stool. Gold is about entering. It's part of the procession. So you see the golden stool very soon. Yes, you can see the golden stool being on somebody's head, and those are chairs that the king is going to sit on. That is not what you are seeing. It will come. The golden stool is behind it's just behind the person with the hat. Those two chairs are chairs the Asantehene is going to sit on. Now the power of the Ashanti kingdom begins with the golden stool, and then descend to Asanteman, and then the king. Now you can see the golden stool.
That's the gold stool.
The golden stool you see here, believed to be conjured by the legendary priest Otumfuo around 1695, at Bantama, where we have the Otumfuo Teaching Hospital. So it was there that some individual Akan states came together to form a confederacy to wage war against their overlord, that was the Intra state.
So you cannot see the golden stool or the gold stool. In fact, it is gold stool.
It is gold stool. I sought to correct that. It's a gold stool.
It is gold.
Asante don't
not
of gold in a replica. No, Asante of the gold. And
yes. So the power of an Ashanti kingdom is in the gold stool, and today is coming out for you to see. So the procession is coming. You can see the long procession.
Doctor, now I feel a different vibration.
Yes.
The spirit and image of the gathering has suddenly changed.
Sure.
Is that to do with the appearance of Sikejwa Kofi?
Certainly yes. Awesome. Once the Sikejwa Kofi is here, that is the supremo. The power begins with the Sikejwa Kofi. Then the Asanteman is there. The Asantehene is there.
Oh, so Asantehene comes third from Sikejwa Kofi or second from Sikejwa Kofi?
He is keeping the Sikejwa Kofi and Ashanteman. So you can't put Asantehene
ahead of Sikejwa Kofi.
Yes, be above Sikejwa. He draws his power from the Sikejwa. Yes. So when Sikejwa is there, so you can now see it. Now that Asantehene is now in. Behind him is the fronton from. These are big drums. These big drums sounding like a lion, big lion or elephant moving.
Viewers, you have Asantehene,
so you can see the
Asantehene the second in your shot, entering the Grand Durbar. You're watching live from the Menchia Palace, the Akwasidae Kese, currently taking place at the Menchia Palace. And in your shot currently is Otumfuo Osei Tutu, the second, waving majestically to the crowd here gathered. There are at the gathering many diverse dignitaries. We have the Gamanche here present, as well as the Babuwulomo. We also have members of the diplomatic corps here present, all paying homage to Asantehene as he celebrates, sits in state to celebrate at the Kese. Doctor, teacher, as Otumfuo has joined the crowd, as we've come to know, is it time where everybody else will be on their feet, or chiefs will continue to sit as he enters?
No, everybody is below the golden stool, including the Asantehene. So he himself is the servant of the golden stool.
Okay.
So if your master is coming, you got
You
to
will
get
definitely
up.
get up. You'll definitely get up. You definitely get up. It's a beautiful day here in Kumasi, and wherever you are watching us from, whether you're watching us online or you're watching us by any means, you're watching a live feed, special broadcast from the Menhia Palace, and this is Akwasidae Kese. And today, Sikadwa Kofi, the gold stool, is out. And so the energy at Menhia is different. Wherever you're watching us from, we have learned a lot as far as Ashanti or Asante culture is concerned. Tradition does not change over time.
The Abuba Horn, a friend Achim Prebu. Now Achim said, "We see any Prebu and say, for the unknown chef from Noria Shensioso, in Sua Etne, and G Abuabia, Untimin Jansuno, now Meura, and G Etraya say, as I say, security wise, as I say, yeah, conscious of security.
I see any call Bambon Samson.
As I say, any call Bambo and Samso, not ya, our Yasitrim, and only idea about Tra or boy, friends say, Achim Prebu. Okay. And to one so a friend on one, and on see a dream, see a dream so. And just say, I dare be a piano, as I say about what they say, a bay in a year. Na, the year no, I no, your man in your home. Penti Casano, and Tumano, a Casachre. A Otumfuo Osei Tutu, a tune did our Mukohono, a tune or Sandina Biaba, or Botio, no dear Diacum, no about Afra, no so a tune Afra, Ubia on the engine, Sandina or Dikai, Ebo, a tune Niafra, a tua or Sandina or Dikai, or said to boy, and a Japama, or Sandina Poguare, Sicantua, and almost a bought Afra. Na me kan tuo no de na wia me de amano no aka frana de na ayi sande na o se sie yo sande ne Osei Tutu ababio ono so abonu tuo esremu se jata ene wasa abona frana esremu te jata nti binu enso nkaka
Yo doctor,
yes, you can see the king is still moving. Asante is still moving, and it's a long procession. And the procession is all we have, and we are showing. So we have all the different groups still. And as you can see, as they sit down, all of them will leave the scene and leave the senior chief to sit. Now, earlier on you saw people with guns. These are ancient guns. Some of them were used about 300 years ago, and we are still keeping them. And they are behind. I mean, you don't cross them as they move. You see, those you don't cross them, and they are behind the procession. After the procession, you see different groups of chiefs. All of them are chiefs overseeing towns, many towns and villages and many people, and that's what we are seeing there. So the king is still moving in the prayer code.
Right. Teacher Mame Misa Sikadwa Pie. Sikadwa Pie this saying I didn't feel saying in the abbey.
Oh, Sikadwa dear. Sikadwa Krobia Asante Kotoko hene. Ono nkwa ne timi kire se na me di Sikadwa be pie. Oh, e odi fia dwonu ode bai. Said the woman Sikadwa dear. Krobia Asante Kotoko no na kire eda odi Sikadwa be pie. Now say Sikadwa pie. Ade we no asekire ne say ye kase ye di ade kase a eye santehene eye kwan ofaso edan agudie na japade ene niema hodo a wo beto wo na kwanya ho edi kire ne manfo enya de sabi oburu sabi anya ado wo beto ye nko se de na teacher e kasa no wo ka say Krobia Asante Kotoko yin Otumfuo Osei Tutu abebio wo ne Krobia Asante Kotoko yin otosu dunsia wo baaye no wabotuo wabomfena Into chira enye de obet sabe obeto wu say da konwa no de wono so waya aka ho no eno na odana di e de chira ne manfo na saa ne ma no so odana di no na chira sabe ebru sabe anya ado a tumi a wowo say osante hene.
Yeah, let's come over to teacher. Teacher, I would crave your indulgence to walk us through the 4 ceremonial swords Otumfuo Osei Tutu II created or has created since his reign. And I see, interestingly, but I see the first being Sakatimpo B. What does it stand for? What's the significance of Sakatimpo B?
Okay, Sakatimpo B is like a wild animal which doesn't fear a gun.
Okay.
Even when you point a gun on him or it's still there eating pets. You understand? Insects. You will be eating insects. Like as if you haven't seen anything that
just
he doesn't fear you. He doesn't fear anybody. But he respects you, but he doesn't fear you.
Right.
It has a sign of respect and a sign of bravery.
And a teacher had already mentioned Esremu Seijata, so we would not belabor the Esremu Seijata. But let's move on to the next one, which there are still others. Okay, so let's quickly take. I think the next one I would look at is Abubu Maba. Abubu Maba, yes.
It's a type of insect which creates a cage with small sticks, and nobody knows how it creates that cage. Yes, and you always find him in that. Abubu Mabano ya buabia sebi woye buo bia wode ma no kikabo musa no anwene wo fa buo no ekwan bia na ho eso no wo hyem
no se wode mefa ne se ya babuo ana se kasakwa kwa bi so then ene nia opemso pese wode kire ne manfo ye nti wo bo saa afna wo friend say ebumu ma ba
e kire se de ne ho anwanwa sitie wono no wuntimi nya ne hwe wono de obeye no wonti ase de obetimi aye no obedwene ho saa wonti ase no enti wo hwa Abubu Maba na wutimi fa de na wodwene ho saa na kwan be kra na bo wura bon no ebuo no mu ansa no wo si ano anaso wo ye nyina na odi twa ne ho hia baako nso ayani ehye so no eye esie se wuni mu esie se de esie sitie saa esie wo kwayem wo kwayem ata hu se esie si ho da bia nso togusu na ya enete na nka wasa ho no esusu nso togusu a na esan eye kese esan ye tenten ena saa sie na nkasa na esi ho no emoa bebre wo ho emoa bebre kotenam enkanka ekotem na mum aboa bi kase bi hyem aye fe ni jemre kuku. Okay, na saa jemre kuku no hye sie mu no se ye yini firi sie no mu pe enkanka no mo ti hu no oje osie no ebedwiragu etu wo sante hini ni jemre kuku a wo hye sie mu a wo firi sie mu a esie dwirigu mo ampa ohwe ne ye ne senia asanteman ene ne nchechire ene ne ka ho nyina ye ne efiri akire nyina mpo se nyase ye yesuro beka ya ka se ne yi no ya bedom pa medase na wadi kan ama mahu Sakatimpo bi ya hwe esie na fe so ya hwe Abubu Maba Esremu Seijata nso de ya di kan aka eho asem a na se esu ade ne oni e beka ya nsa nche ye nti me ye hwe ye no nso eho nsem kakra Esremu Seijata Esremu sei edin no echo se Esrem ye ko Esremu a na che se ye ko baabi esrewo baabi a enwia eni eho ena jata wote ho no woye jata eni edenfo a jata ekwam de no a wono no bibia ebetunu bia no se obi na ebepam no a waye ahoboa se obehia sa nipa no ena se wo bawo so a wodi eni eden ena ede bawo so enti wo sante wo te se jata otisrem tinu wo se wono ni Esrem Seijata jata bruwa oti Esrem
Medase. Mami.
Alan. Yes, yeni abema no atuno bo acheche afna ahodo ni nyina emu. Afna ba ko a bepese obeka ho asem ache eye mpomponsuo. Yeah.
Mpomponsuo afna no. Ejine de mpomponsuo. Ai. Na mpomponsuo no na ye ka na mpomponsuo na de okra mpomponsuo no na ye fe no mpomponsuo hene wono na yehu na ohye echa yede okode ntakra aye enti wono na ye kasa domani sa de oso ntakrache wono what's Santehene ni nifa so said yedi kaye ka no ye kirem se wo ye Santehene chiame na saafna no abakusam kire se okatache opokuare ene boy na o boy wode niema hodo enson wo kikambo mu ene wode ye saa afna no tine ye se mpomponson na ade pa afna na eba uhu ba ko eye abasobodie bia esiso aye amanse pramra wachi aboa bi ehye nano ena osahunu okode ntakra no ena ohunu sika yede aye abeben ewo ho ena ohunu dawuro ebonimu dawuro no ekira o se de madinka aka no so we o Santehene chiame enti se Santehene etwo na so ohu bibi anaso opeso ka bibi kira nananom odomu a otimi de soma pomponsuo hene no to oba na sa doma na ewo so a echeto wa hu se wo sonkra enam
pomponsuo no eno nso o se ko adisuamu a efre bibi pensemu as etymology of the word pomponsuo e ka se bibi adu no pomponsuo a the height of it the climax no pomponsuo nti normal 7 climax and the apex 7 apex and efre no pomponsuo na endi enwana wachire mu achire na akore ntakra ena yede ye ayi no ayimfu foforo awu ho omde no enya akore ntakra na omde ye omo so wo bi amanyene no omde krokoko
ntakra na ye
taki ntakra ena omde ye omde nti ensunsu ye ewo na oka okubabi wose edom any said your son takache esense pomponsuo hene no da bia ono odi o hene nchen na osoma na okoba owo sabe nimdie ewo amane ne amamre mu pa ena onim o hene esoma sam bebre endi yakoko a ni hu nya se adomfo no o ma ekon no o mu nim so mo chi no a o mbanya some Entibabia will be a near Papa Penachino. A dumb and his son,
wow.
Imagine Sanya Miami so mentias yet here. Na eneno Messia Yentimiko, that Biamico Gina Coche Muna no eneno Nacoche Musania Tiapa.
When you don't not a fan of say a domanisa, your son Takache will be all born homodine, I will be being none penina any son.
Who say, said you na teacher can. Cordian, what's a one woman in ano, a was a threat. Okodi atakra no kodi nani suosuwa na ni hu ba bia na ni kwa achiri Santehene wa betra domu woti woi na ni hu ba bia enti de oso saa che mpomponso hene no Santehene betimi asman se kohwehwe abrada nta abreme woti ho no wonim ba bia so 6 twam sesi a hu de beye wo beba ha ababe throw at wakoma or Santehene.
My sister had earlier asked for a certain explanation to the further carrying man leading Otumfuo. Teacher, please bring us up to speed to the Entakrache, the significance of it, the importance of it, and the role it plays ahead of or as Santehene comes into their background such as this. Which is the eagle. Yes.
To me, ewo asasi so ntina ote bangoma so ya esonoma esono kura na ewire mu ote no so osate jata engoma so etis bangoma so nti ese ote krawiri ene brawiri eni brawiri so nti krawiri no eye jata esebo ena brawiri eye jata nti ote krawiri ni brawiri ngoma so na chese ewiem ho no nso no osadi ne ho ene kore no ono na ewiem ho nyina wone hene no osande hene ache na tutu ne ntakra ede ahye ayeche ahye enti we kire enoma wenum nyina ka bomu a osantiri tumi ya wo esa yese baby a ohye ntakra che no ohene to nani a baby a obi a yebe hu no
wonderful
na ya fra no amana abedi djuma a sese odie.
Wonderful. So I asked teacher for a good some explanation to the further wearing man and the role he plays as far as Santehene is concerned, and he's giving us some background to that. That's the elegant, majestic king of Asantemanra, Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, seated in state and receiving dignitaries from all around, not only the country but also outside of the country. We have seen some members from La Côte d'Ivoire this morning paying homage, and we have also in the crowd the Vice President, His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, joined by his wife, Madame Samira, Her Excellency Samira Bawumia. Now, as I was bringing you the explanation we received towards the Entakra Hene or Entakrache, and the heart is made of the feathers of an eagle, and you know, up in the sky the eagle happens to be the strongest of all the birds, and so it signifies the strength and the might of Santehene, both on land and in the air. And on land he sits on the skins of two great wild animals, being the lion and the tiger. And so the akan that is wahenia wati krawiri any bravery so, meaning he sits on the skins of both the lion and the tiger. And also there is bangoma, which is the skin of the elephant. And so again, it tells you the might and the power of Otumfuo when he sits. And this is a little background we received from teacher as we observe the Akwasidae Kese with Otumfuo himself in state. And to his side, we see Sikeja seated majestically next to Ohene as he sits in state.
Teacher, oka kreweni bravery ehun asem. Say na say de waso atoto from a na wutie radio so a. Wo say ebinom ebo epanifo bidin a omutimi eka say omuti kreweni bravery so. Ayo pem so kwa na timitena so. Ana say obi fufuro wo de kwa amanyosem wa.
Say de etie no. So wo say eno ntina ya na nkrofo se. As oni asantini etie ade ba akoso a. Otimma ne de no eye huhu na betwa de no tisa wo sebangoma no a wote so ofra ne sebangoma ono nso amani din foforo jata ngoma asama ne din foforo ofra ne krawiri ne brewiri enti wa ma aso achen jata ngoma no kra enti ne de no edanso entuma ye fra no ya ye friend akunini ntuma aha akunini eje se obi a che se odi mu
okron
wo ewie yase nkrofo bebre fra bi enso hu se ono ne de na danso ye kente ena omde afra embroidery no ne afra na kunini ntuma enti se ntuma no afra osantene kunini ntuma akunini ntuma onam yi hu se obi bia fra bi se bia wono wa fra wie no osantene ebe fra ntuma yesoma scouts
mo
badwom ebe hwe sentuma na ye egu ho se ye de ma osantene na fra no obi fra bia so obi fra bia osantene ebe sesa na ntuma se onya de ba ebe transi wie a wa obi fra bia ba bia no ona ebe sesa ontuma why late
na se ye hu santene hu se opem so ya na oboni chinko ya na oboni chinko ese o ma hyase e chia no na no nipa binum betimi achia ne nsem ana
yo nipa hodo pi onom a okurukra efre wo mo se wo momra no ana wo mudi kan yi na sotre se wo mbeba opena so wo momra no otena sia mbeba bechia ne yimfu akese nyina enso ebeba bechia ya ebeye binum ngwangwase na ade na ebinum na yayi wo mo se wo mo nchia e ka se obi ankochia e be free ha yo entino no send entino ya chiche yemu fekuo edumienu sa fekuo edumienu no omo na no ene ye frɛ no fekutre fekuo eye brigade na sa fekuo no kyerɛ sɛ ye ya afɛfo entino obitimi ka kyerɛ obi sɛ nya wa feneme nya wo yonko neme enti sɛ wa feneme de ane ye nyina pɛ enti fekuo no eye class nti do da no class prefect asante hema so
Krobia Santo Kotoko hema nana ama krodu yi adoma otoso mensa ono ne osante hema ono na sesi a ba no na sa wo hwe sante hema ba na unse sante hene ba no no ote apakam asante hema so de otum ye friend seku na seku no wotenam na oba yemfa chiniye ene sinu so tse de osantene ba na chine sinu so no ye de papa ene wowa no enti so hwa won se de papa ne bonkum ene ni nifa nyina no ye de papa ene ewa no
me share bibi nso me say teacher be ma ye nchechemu kakra santene ba no apaka na otimu no esi emema betire so nanso ohwe ma media ya ase eso amanfu tiri so nsunsu ye be no dam denti na ema ne ba ne sa
on say ye asante no amamuoyi ayewoyi ni japade ewe nyina ye ma ne dia abusua no ye ma dia se wo ya asantini a wo ye o ma me abusua ni se wo ye dehye a wo ma me nti na wo ye dehye on say ya na emkrofo bi wo adwini bi se ye muma
okay
sabe ente sada yen ema na ye de chichira abusua sabe nananom wo mo aha no enye so mo ba o mo aja ema no wachire ebisa sanka ye sa ena nananom ba na nananom okosa ye kosa sabe ye kwa anyi ye nyina na ye san ba fie na ye mema no se ye kosa ne se firi mu a ema no wo fie a wo mba wo ahya na mu se wo sesa ma do mo kojira ko no a ne so mo kowu a wa hye abusua ase enti tumi na wo abusua no mu nyina na kurama no wahima na tumi nyina kase nyina no ekura no enti na sanana no mtenase na se bibisi a na se kire wo mo so a na mo asese mum yankwa abrewa nchen yanko busa abrewa nkwa gina adwenkyere enti tumi no ono no de sunti ni yeso aro no ya pampam ni aso ohene soso ewe ya betiri so ati ase enti tumi nyina na ulman otoi wo hwese na abrewa once we begin kan betnase no asoma ame de afna efra ne se bosompra akose na abrewa se abrewa wo ba tenase ti wo betimi aba abechia no ti afei na osantehema oba enti se ohun se santehema no ye dinasi ye emema nan etiri so a na kire se tumi ekura no no eso ewa ahimamo
medase
so be hwe so a obohu se ɔsɛ abatire gyina hɔ ma deɛ adwuma nti mɛma no mo adwuma na yɛ mo dea nti yɛsoa mo yɛ batiri so ɔmaa no nso tirimudɛ ɛne adehyesɛm ɛne tumi nti mo nso yɛsoa ne adwene so
medase wɔma yɛ nkyɛkyɛmu no abi no yɛna no mekɔgyina baabi kɔbu baabi ɛno obi gye me hɔ nkyɛkyɛmu ɛnɛ mewɔ asante mɛbusa wɔka sɛ ɛkyere so a ɔsɛ yɛnkɔbusa aberewa saa asɛm nti ɛna meka abusa sɛ yɛ ne ebu baabi ka sɛ nsɛm a ɛbɔ otwi ɛkɔ brɛman ɛnɛ no nso yɛ ebu bɛ no a yɛka ne sɛ nsɛm a ɛkɔ otwi kɔ brɛman teacher ɛnɛ deɛ gyima no na ma me nkyɛkyɛmu yɛ hene paa na saa bɛbu no ɛda
yo ne mienu nyinaa ɛka sɛ ɛfrɛ no sɛ woba wobu ne kaneɛ no ɛyɛ tim biom
nsɛm a me ɛbɔ otwi ɛkɔ brɛman
ɛna yɛkɔbusa aberewa
saa
yɛmfa mfiri yɛkɔbusa aberewa no aberewa sese wobɛyɛ ɔhema a woyɛ obiaa nana woyɛ 2 years woyɛ 10 years woyɛnya ka sɛ woyɛ ɔhema ne deɛ ɔhene no ne maame ne ho
yo
ɛna obiaa wɔwɔ ɔman no mu biaa nso ne nana ne ho
yo
nti woyɛ aberewa wo nso na tumi ne nyinaa yɛakyekyerɛ ne yɛde ama wɔ wona wowɔ tumi ɔhema wɔ tumi kyɛ ɔhene enti ɔhene wɔ veto power ɔhema nso wɔ veto aseɛ ne sɛ ɔhene veto no ɔhema atumi twam ɔhema wɔ tumi sɛ asantefoɔ aboa ɔmo ho sɛ yɛkɔko ɔhema atumi ka sɛ ɛnnɛ yɛ nkɔko mo nsa matena fi ebi asida ama 1874 sagrantin tokwa no amanfoɔ aboa ɔmo sɛ ɔmo kɔko no ɛna ɔsante hema ase dabi ɛkoi yɛkɔ a nyame nyina yɛkyi ɛfiri sɛ yɛdi ka yɛafom ansa ne yɛne buroni kɔko nti mo nsa mmra fie na ɔmo san baeɛ wɔhu sɛ sante hena ma ɔda no sɛ yɛ nkɔko no sante hema bɛtwam
vito
so enti no ɛno ne yɛkɔbusa aberewa asɛm biaa sɛ bɛtwa a ɛden sɛ deɛ yaa yɛkɔsusu ho kyerɛ ɔhema ɔsantene no ankasa na nɔpa biaa na ɔkɔ na akɔkyea ne maame ɔba yi ɔbɛkɔ akɔkyea no ansa na wabɛtena se ɔno bɛba bɛtena se ansa na wasoma me akɔfrɛ ne maame aba enti ɛnyɛ sɛ ɛkyerɛ sɛ wo kɔtena se na me no a meso no maba akyirɛ yi saa na teɛ enti na ɔsantene no bɛtena se ansa na ɔhema abɛtena se tumi ne nyinaa no ɔhema hɔ ɛna wɔ nti biribia ne a yɛkɔbusa ɔkaa sɛ yɛkɔtwi ɛba abrɛman ɛyɛ kasakoa yɛ a ɛkyerɛ sɛ ɛnia no unlimited kyerɛ sɛ twi no yɛ ɛwɔ hene brɛman deɛ yɛbɛtumi ahunu nkuro bebree yɛayɛfrɛ no brɛman na brɛman no n'ase kyerɛ ne sɛn ɔman a yɛbrɛ yɛsɛm fifire wɔ mu yɛyɛ adwumaden wɔ mu enti hwi ɛne ɛna kyerɛ sɛ kɔpɛ no baabi a yɛnhu fi kyerɛ sɛ ɛbrɛ a ɛkɔfa sɛbe brɛ ne ɛdɛ enti asɛm a ɛkɔtwi ɛba abrɛman yɛnhu baabi a ɛkɔpem enti ɛkɔ ɛma no kɔpem ne yɛni kɔ asɛ kɔpem ɛno ne twi ne brɛman wɔyɛ kokofu hema ɛna yɛni twa no so no na kokofu Kenya ase ɛna Kumase ɔmo yɛ nnuanom nanso obiara man yɛ ade no kɔtena mu na hɔ na yɛ ne dea nti kokofu edi ne kokofu hene ne hema Kenya ase edi ne hema ne hene ɛna ɔsante hene edi ne Kumase ne santeman
ala ma mi sɛ teacher asɛmi wako fa asɛm aba ɛsɛ ba gyi twi kɔ brɛman teacher yɛnim sɛ ɔpem soɔ epia MPP who say ana brema for di na chi no mo to no brema for abakosam ne say adenti no mo to nwum di ohene chi
brema e wona bam wo mo na wo bam a wo mo bo nananum ajapade ho ban e wo ho enti wo mo soso no abre bia wo hene ba ho no wo ko ho a onko na ho gono so okona ni bre so asantefo se edura manfon so ane akaya anom sebe akaka ye ho so de ni bre ba enti se santehine abre bia odina ni ba kire bre man no na enye se tetena enko okosa no no enunti na so mo wo ba no mo kire ne mensam se wonkwa ne yesuro wo sai nkwa na ede yesuro no ena wo mo san be ka kire se so wo sai ba breman ne so wo hia no wo hia musuo so sa bre no wo kona ni bre so ko hia ne breman kwan so na se wo ko hia ne so wo hia ne kwan pa so a uti be yira
enti no mo sa anwum na asantro fia no ma ya hia musuo ti wo ba breman a wo na himfu kakra bi eni enti breman wo ko breman wo de ni kuma brempon nyina ekọ enti wo namo a wo nkono ani je so breman nya kwan a santehene kọ na ho gono so abre bia obekọ ho bia no wode yaw ene firi ho e ba fi se ho na ne nananom ewo okay
enti ya ni je da se ndi anka yanka breman asam
kra okay na se breman wo fa breman so ya ni bresa mo nkwa
ya ni bresa mo nkwa
wow
ayet se brant makroti a ho no kono onkwa na ho gono so
enu tina na breman fo ameto nwum no isa se na ya ni je da
so ye anaso wo ye bibia chese ehu a na chese wa hu se wo mo hu se yesa ena santene chichira no mo ne kono
oh okay
enam so ehu se akonwa otiso no nte empempi ya no tra esipim so enne sa akonwa ya otrasi pim so a ne de akonwa bi esi ni nchen e fra no kotokodwa eno na de otraso dubo hu se kushin bebre egu nachi ena ya de eyi bi esi odua bi bia no ya de esi wo no e fra no nyamedua ena ya de esi wo no ya de eyi e fra nse ate no ena e fra no kushin e de egu wo bebre ena otwere no enti eto da bia na se otena saa esipim dwa no so eto da bi so a na se otena ayi
eno no ejina adekura wo ye so na kire de obetena so
eno ade a wo ye no na kire so wo ye yi a wona konwa wo ye obodwa e wona konwa edwa no anzo akonwa no egu ahodo so ba hu se ahwe sa chini ya no e fra na hwebruwa yo na e friends mi wia be ma no na mo akire chini no bi mo akire na ubo hu se ade bi eda ni kom etaso miensa e fra no adabo eda ne bo wow a triangle yeah from ancient Israel and Egypt ena yede anantia ba bedrua ena ono ademiensa ena tunukom amahine no baako kase baako omo ya brempon no omo mfa bintu omo kom
adentia
omo ya brempon order of hierarchy ndi to hene pa enso oni hu kwaso de adabo tunukom kise o ye mahine ena wo ya santene so a wotime de eboro baako
ena tuko
enu ntina miensa ena gunuko mo
right
say now o kan hu busansa dentra say asante amamuo no etse soldier se bisra adwuma no enyema na hu ni nyina ne santene ma bia etse de soldier ni akokon ni amana abasobode broni beka se meda enti so dibre no baabi a dibre duru no ena kire meda ye de bow on said nananom ba wo be kwa akohwe nananom na ase no ebi mu mpaboa sika sisi so ebi mu de eye saa enyu obia ne ebetimi ahye sika mpaboa enyu obia ne betimi edi sika ahyehye no ho fi soro abesi fam agise wona nananom di mensem bi ana wa wankasa waba no wodi mensem bi ma asante se ye fraw abo abaso enti ni nyina no eni chiniye ahodo awuhu no enchiniye ahodo awuhu no eni ne ma ahodo awuhu no enye obia na sabi ebuo sabi anya ado a ufa bia na odi asiwu so enye okoya no akofa bibi na ade agu nsa enye okoya no akofa bibi na ade agu kom ade na agu kom no eye eniema wona nanom abomodin apre ama ya bo ma baso wo ho eno ene egu wo mo ho
right eye pa se ne mo akire niema mu pa ama ye ho na yenua bako Alan yenua bako wa ha bosie amponsa mensa so akwada ya mamre mu ye pa ambesam ne bon komo sima mienu bi na oba ye no de wo hunu menim so onim pi dada na dia na wasa hunu aka ho ende ya ne de se na Akwasidae mu Akwasidae wa baby kwame
mara
akwaba
ye na
ye hia menhia menim so woni mama mre ne amane pi enne wa be ho bi fufura aka ho
Dabiana kotoko hini ebe bodwe bia no ade foforo na yehunu na ene twabo na eboye no menka de se edomo a ene yehunu ha no musei no eya ade foforo sanse kotoko hini bodwa etwabo na sase nyina no se wo ha no musei a ebra ye de beba uhwe nipa de fense ya henkwa eba ebra wo mo de ba eni sa enne dwabo yi no sunsun e wo kakraka
no kwa enne ahefo mo bantam
mo bantam na wo so hini bia banso banso ahu se wade ntam enne eba kire se enne no bibi esi enti na sa de dom ni so ha se ni kwan e fo aso ba ye kora no ya de foforo ye hwe bible emu ensemu sene ubeduru menhia se ya se beduru hanum se ansa na 8 ebo bambo mu nsam ene dwabo dodo a akoso kra no eye nsusunu ye sanse ne bambo fo a ewa hanum se both security eye soldier asrafo ene posifo no wo se mu bia no enambas no ewo soro yedinti bambo mu nsam kra no enioma no edanso ewa hanum se
ena meme ba ne me hu bibi empepi no sa wo ba enkwanta a wo de be mane aba manhia no eho na nka abambofo ni sikwan no na so ena no omo ba wo manim o tra wayek eba wanim kakra sa enkwanta ewo ho na no eho na abambofo no ebe sikwan no
enra ena manhia ede nsamba abonten na se communicate ba abonten se akwan ahodo a ebepie manhia se nyina no nyade a ehye bia no ebetimi afamu editi ehon hyehyeye ena yehu ye no eti se de wo kan me free kagetia afamu ena ebaaye adwadifo anda wo ho nka bia beduru kwan no mu na nkomuku ho no ho so no ye hu ni sa odu hu se ekwan no edam a kire se ene tumi bi ye adwuma eti na ne de mabra se wode toto ho se sa Akwasidae ya Akwasidae kesi no a sunsuye no ewo mu bebre na minimu se bre wo ho no mo ana se benya bre kakra yenhwe Akwasidae a ewo afe no emu sade ye nabuo no esitie wo ba asante a ye wo ya asra na no na yedi edituma
ya asra na no esesa free kwasi broni de na omamu ni nyina di so no
efie no ewu mu na oba asa na anu emu no a Akwasidae no eye enkron ene wom Esunka bosome no broni de no eye
edumienu
nanso emu nkron na yedi Akwasidae no ewo emu na Akwasidae no so no na aduanan mienu bia na aduanan mienu bia no na yedi Akwasidae ewo asante memu na menshase a bosome opepon yedi Akwasidae ewo mu na opepon no esi eye ne da na etoso enson eso ene yedi Akwasidae no na ogefo abosome so no yedi no mu na me say me san ko mechi eye opepon no Akwasidae no kwasiada na edi kan mu yedi Akwasidae na ogefo eye bosome etoso bienu so no eno so yedi Akwasidae wo mu na no na yede da etoso edumotwe na kwasiada etoso miensa emu ene yedi ye obenem anase March bosome no so yedi Akwasidae ewo mu na 31st na se da etoso aduasa baako na eno so na kwasiada etoso num ena yedi Akwasidae ofuosu bosome bosome etoso 9 no ye ni Akwasidae wo da bi ye ni Akwasidae wo na kotodima bosome yedi na se ene eda etoso tumienu na yedi Akwasidae na eno so no kwasiada etoso mienu ewo bosome a yewu muimu nyame ya adomo a aya ohumumu bosome no bosome nsia enso yebedi Akwasidae na no bosome de etoso aduonu miensa 23rd na yebedi Akwasidae ewo mu na yekwasiada etoso 9 emu ni yebedie na afei free aya ohumumu no mu eko kutawonsa bosome kutawonsa ye ni Akwasidae wo mu
kutawonsa
Akwasidae eni kutawonsa mu nebom osana aya bosome etoso enwotwe no de yebedi Akwasidae ewo mu eno ne osana bosome de etoso 9 eni yebedi Akwasidae na eno so no kwasiada edikan mu ena yebedi Akwasidae bosome bosome nkron no so no Akwasidae wo mu na eno ne eda etoso edunum eda etoso dunum ena yebedi Akwasidae eno no kwasiada etoso miensa na afi bosome du hinimi bosome no enso ne de etoso adunu son yebedi Akwasidae wo mu kwasiada etoso 9 mu ede yebedi no obubuo anase bosome du baako no Akwasidae nim ye ni Akwasidae bia ewo mu na afi openima enso bosome no ne de etoso ngotwe yedi Akwasidae ewo mu a eno no ye kwasiada etoso mienu ewo afinu emu enti se ebre no ebebe mu a kama mento aso na afi nabuo no
meba ho mesoma me na ye nhwemfoni ya ewo so Alan wenum ye Nigeria na Mali.
Yeah, these are the delegations from Niger. So if you're watching live, wherever you're watching us from, this is the delegation from Niger who are here this morning to pay homage to Asante Hene as he sits in state to celebrate Akwasidae. They represent the Tuareg community of Niger.
Sir, Osha no say na she baby I come here say nano me so akameka say we ase afana nyina wamona musi for abaha.
Every other embassy in Ghana is also here represented at Menchia. Interesting, but I actually saw the British High Commissioner earlier yesterday when she arrived here at Menchia, but I was a bit away from her. I immediately recognized her, and I see what looks like a swearing or a paying of homage to Otumfuo. Let's listen.
Na mabra
that's a swearing by one of the sword-bearing men who would pay homage to Asante Hene when he sits in state.
Eti said ye gamanche banona ya born mbrane no sa na opim so etna sia e wo ho a na ya be born mbrane kwame
yo eti amumafo na edi wo mu edwuma no eti asma ogusa aye no ene da no mejima ka se ye ka se ewiase nyina ne manhia ne san se de dom no efri ewiase mu ntwa so enyina no aba ha se ya ene oba be hye kotoko hene animonyam eti enane de ka se ewiase a ene menhia ahife ni nyina wiase ni nyina no ewo aha no musei
ene no menhia din ne honam ase baabi oman ni nyina ahia ena se oman ni nyina so abehia right eti sentinel de gusua ekochia opemso na said teacher no mchechire mu no kwasem ne se yakase obi anhia ne se menenke ye nsore enti ye se ubo mu ase a na se ono so abonichinku na wokọ na se aboa amoma na ekoso no
amoma na ekoso no
amomafo na edi won juma no eno kwame eyo hene dai
kasa sire no eye na mani nsama hodo a wadie eno na wo mo anwene a wo mo ekwa ede kire no enti no so wo mo kasa ansam no ede kire no a etwe na dwene esisa mani nsam no eso enti ti se ebi wo no ma okọ eye kon esa ene wo kwakun ye nsa akun no mu no die kokosi ye ena wo mo anwene ti se asante ekọ oboje sa anwo kofa sika kuduo
gita kuduo le ba ye
gita kuduo e de ba ye no ho amoma ewo ho eni se wo ma wo ka e de kosi se watwa oboje sa anwo hene eti ewom enti yesa mani nsam na wodie no na se wodie ye no eno ena wo mo anwene a wo mo eka e de kire no na mpra dodo na no se yeka se ohene bi aye bi na se yeka sa asam no e de kire no a eya na nye ono de ohene no a no eye de ne nananom eye ene de bi ebre mu no so aye enti de ne nananom ekọ eye no ebra etwa mu nyina no wo ka de kire no e de twe na dwene e di esisu
right na chese wanu mo soso a omo dia no won hyada nti asem a wo mo ka no mpempi dia metia ne obi nya asa bia nko obeye bi no omo nyina aka amomafo
ni nyina eka ho na ma bra ye hya ne so se asante ya mamre ene ya mane no dodo na empie dodo na ye no wodam enti amamre dodo na akwaso wodam a ye nhunu bi yanti bi kakra bi na ya na yehunu edinti na ti se dwabo a eti sei no se ekoso a ya na wasenka edomu na no eba na ebehwe bie no os anya bie kura no emu fa kese no a no na nanom ede ene sa mamre na yehunu ni nyina no ebie na wonu se obeye sa nyoma ode ba abonti nyina no ekoba no sa ara se fia ka no enti obesa ya mamre ede adware sa no ma ni nyina sa no ode
asa kogu ba bia ti se ne sikadwa pie ya ye nyina ye hwe bie
obeya mamre ede yama etuo ahodo ene afra ahodo aba abonti nyina no obeye amamre sonko ede adware no ansana wode akwakusi bebia esie enti ye nhunu mudodo no enti ye nhunu mu no enu nti na nsam bi anasa mo manu nso bi wo hono mo a mu nsam no
mo nhyada nka ma wonti ni ye
wanwene erofa so enti de wo tie na ye ka kire ne de
on de otiase
no ye ka kire no wotiase emum wona ye di esie wo
kwame nana dwaben hene na otu osebo ono na ekwe na ne ho abakosem enika yamano chimude akonwa chimude hene enti ne mpampi no senka opem so tena se ohene bi amabie na so ade tena ohene tena se na afe na dwaben man hene eba eho empanyin sam no kire se ono odi chimude enti se ohene tena se wi a ansa na wasoma the chairman wakosene say watena sinti womra okodi edi kan ya womma okodi etoso mienu a womma ne timu de na wodie no ye etoso miensa ansa na waba enze say ya hunu na adwaben hene na oto sebo odwo na chesa afei na ne bo ato ne yema wono oeba
enti se uyi timude so to nche ya ne baako a ono so timu ya de depa no so ye abakoma hene
abakoma odi abakoma sem
bakoma sem so etimu ye no de papa se abakoma hene na enden ko ono so bedwa base a ebi efri men gate kese na no ebedu ha no se no obetuma take be 5 hours no edu ha
okọ kakra no
wa banya ne ko da ko ti da ko ho na wo e na wo ba na ne nan no wontu odi abakoma sem
yo unim Alan ade amahu ne se amambre wo ho efe ena ye kira hodo ana yi kira hodo nso wo te se na adwaben ehene die tirimude ohena tenase ne ya frɛ no ɔse memma ne ya kompre no ɔse memma jesem prensa ne nyina aka bibi o
aka bibi
entim jagai fe ya se hene se obachia opem so a esan se yetwa ne hene tinti no se oduru ho a omo ntwene asante sesai
ehmeje no aye kama pa adokwa ehmeje no akos
twa ne hene tinti no se oduru ho a omo ntwene asante sesai enti se obachia opem so a oduru ho mo bebo ne ntwene no na akai no ebra yetwa ne naneti obesu ansa na wache opem so sane ma ni nyina akoso eboa ma amamre no eyefe na eboa so e ma ye kai tetensem ene ma si ya na ye ni ho eni sa wote ho na se bia fe ya se hene bechia na osu abeka se na ohene wo osu e ka bi kire no na nchira se wo
enti ya mamre se ya tena se ma wo bidi ahye etiri mu se ya mamre e ya bosom semo a e wose ya hukuru firi etiri mu entem e kwan ya Akwasikwakọ fa aso se obenya de adi yeso no e ye se obeyi ya dwene de afiri ya mamre so eno no ye ehu adwuma e di hye etiri mu se ya mamre na ye kura mu a eno e na ye ade papa a odoma nkoma de dom ye no e ye abosom sem a wo yi ya dwene e di afiri so ano enam so ma wo de ne die mumu e ba be hye ye yetiri mu enti ma bra e bra so se ye nyina ye besen adwene hu bio se o man na Akwasikwakọ na mamra no ka ye mfa nto baabi na ye mfa ye de no enya dwuma sanse nyame dum wo ya de kese nyame ma ye adinya pa kese demum ya tena se en ya ye hwe han eno na ne ma bra edi ye duru baabi a ye du ya ayo achampem hene
na ono so eba no
mo ono so e ka chimu defeku no
so ka chimu defeku no ohene ba
yes
ai ona da hene ma ni nyina ano achampem right
o ka chimu defeku
o ka chimu defo no e chimu defo no do so
yeah
ba me asema wo kan se Kwasi Broni abe sesa ya dwene ama ya to de nananom de ma ye na aguo na ya fa ne de no na me bisa Dr. Jako se e de ne be ya fa ho asema o kan no me were hoi o se ya be hu se Broni ahaye Broni ama ya to ye nepa ato agu achampehene na esa no wa ma ya to ye nepa ato agu ye nim de sese ye na se be ya ye be ye eno ne ye ha
wonim se okay Okay. Enti Mabra, dear Emma Yentimin Konkofa ya Mambreda. Okay.
Yenti amoma wenso.
The significance of what you're watching currently with different people, sword-bearing men coming to sing appellations or praises is to remind Otumfuo of what he has been and what he has become for Esantemai. And so every one of them comes with specifically selected lines of appellation, and it would not be said behind the king, but right there in front of him, bearing a sword of confidence to tell the king that we know and we stand by everything we are saying to you.
Okay, enti Mabra, na me ka say, dear Emma Yentimi enkonkofa ya mamra na ye papa na ye hunu se ye papa no. Ene say, ka say, ka say me ko nam friends of black to be ko na se ma koboni ya me ko kama sem se nie. Enti dear enim se ye papa no, e se obi akwa akwantuo mu na obra na nkoboyi ama no. Na wo ko fie. Woni bia wade ko. Enti wo akwa no wo timi bibia na so wade ko nti na de wo ankwa ndo beka obi ma so no wu. But what masam na se mo eno na me yada so gina broni edie ni mu no cause ahoboa wase yade boa ni yade kro no yadwe ye nsa da bi ye kwa ni yentimi enko ni yie enti ane ye bekọ so watena broni die ni mu a na yade ewu na nso so ye betimi akọ ye chense mpokoro abekọ okuro mu na abekọ no ohia mu na abekọ akọ wu okuro mu yasie wo chense Eti Mabra sa wuko okurum
You're watching the live telecast of Akwasidae Kese from the Menchia Palace Park. Significance of this celebration is that this year marks the 150th anniversary of the Segrenti War. So also is it the 100th year of the return of Nana Prempeh I from exile in the Seychelles Island. It also marks the 74th anniversary of Otumfuo Osei Tutu II's birth and 25 years of his reign as Esantemai. On commentary this afternoon is myself, your servant Darrell Alantego, and my sister
Abenadenta. Kwame, na ye twatwa adwenefa ya mamre ho na me saka menu abema frempon. Okay. Ya me pese me bisa no sa ansem na amoma na ekoso no. Ensem a mo begina ohinanim ekeka no. Ne nyina ya Asante Kasa. Na yede na bi mu ka ye nte de omoka. De yetia ne obinya asabi anko obeye bi.
Ai Asante Kasa pa. Obinya asabi obeye bi nje ya wote no wo kwadum.
Aha, kwadum
no kwadum.
Aha.
Na kwadum no kwan a adwomtofo no ofaso ka Asante hene na bakosam kire no wo dwom kwan mu. Wo mo kire ne mensam a wadida. Won a watimi akon ache wo. Eno na ya wo mo de dwom no church ebubo sa ne ma ne che ohen se wote wo no wo bema se de ka so esre mu se no wo mo kire ne se wadi akon na wo de sudi akon ene sa akon ne ba obedi.
Okay. Nana no mo ka wo sini si so ensam no ma ana ma shada samo mayente
wote waso yi a beti di wobeti bi pa so wote waso yi a wobeti
nti wono mo gina ho a wo mo hwan nom
we mo so aye ohene ba chempem hene ne nkrofo no say obreman for ena ye wo we esoso na we mo no omo wo brono fro so eba mitima meka brono ni din akyerew a omo no so ohene ba champemi ne abrebia a wo ba no omo so kire se wo ohene ba no onye ohene ba keke wo ohene ba ntumi eso na omo kire se de ono so unsa ono a champemi ne no ono da chidom na no santene sole a ono hwe akire enti wo hwe akire a wo hwe akire keke wo ti ajanchan na wo bo ne ho ban enti wo bo ne ho ban na che so wo so hu ohu enti wo mo no so kire se wo no so e ba ko a ono so betimi adi akon pa e wo mu se wo ti ajanchan won te ho kwa wo te ho a wo bo aja ho e ban we mo no omu fra ampa ba me no mo sokoban efam ho no ampa me no ho no eho ena o mo soso what said ye wo breman fo a o mo soso e wo breman no
eto mo so champagne ne ba o mo no edi na chi no mo so atodwom
mama ne no mo ba no mo abegina ansa na champagne ne ba be chia ne papa no mo be ba abegina nanim no mo atodwom na me na hu se ampa ne ba no wa ba beduru unse a champagne no oyo hene ba ntumi ya dente
ai
ena sede ohu ya no sede nam o hwe no wo ba no da pakam sede ne papa da pakam ba ye no a champagne no empempi no onse wono ena gabe hene wo mo na sante ne tena siwi a
omo ba
ye dimpompo so ko se on se na sante ma so betasa ye dimpompo so ko se on se wo mo mra a champagne ne de se abra ne se baba betasa na se ne papa baba betasa no ye de ne papa ho niema na wo de baaye na bi ne mfena ne bi ene ne chem na sante hene wo no chem no aya apem chem apem no ene wo de na to ano enti chem na e de ni papa e baaye no sa chem no chem apem nam so da no nti ye de chem no ene kofa no ene ne mfena wo no so ne wo hene a agudi asante ne distress no no obetimi de sa agudi ekro na asese no
a champagne
no enti unso oba ne papa ne ma na fontom from a e de ne papa betena ase no sa fontom from kro na ene e de kofa no e de ne ba
enti ne ma enam dwomi eye ene ma nkrofo de koyo hena ye
ai obo a sa ne ya de unse ene ade no oba na be cho hene a wo de nsa ebi de nsa ba ebi de dwan ba etu hu se amamra wo don sa santeman de se be buru se be anya de kan sante a enya wo mo ka me se enkwa na se be nya kanfo nkwa asante no etratre kwa mea eno na krobe asante kotoko hene empempi wo kasa wo se wo di nipa hodo nyina bi ena chiche na santeman ebi ya nwunafo ebi ya dagombafo ebi ya agbefo ebi ya fantefo ebi ya bonofo wo mu nyina la eka ho no de chichire enti obi ya ba santene tenase a amamra no uhu na amamra hodo bebre abra sante hene watena se no
edi afena ne ba a champagne hene e kochia no
wadawa ma aha wo hene ba a champagne hene no unso no so ko ni papa no unso na mpembi na nanu mo be cha hina unso obi a so obi sisi eso no ne papa na aye ne saa ne papa na aye ne saa
wa ba ma ne kwa so ni timu de kaka
eti se ye be ha on se so hini bia akra no ko tumfu dodo na no ko be ko ha ne ntuma de wanko ha ne ntuma kora no a ebia obi wi ni mpaboa aha baako de ni tumi ni wosoro a wonyi ni mpaboa no kora no bia obekọ no apakọ chia ne nsa a obi enso ni mu nanso ye hwese de okoye enam dibre na no an papa e de amanti no ye san ekurukwanu mu so ni sisi a nya se fere ye nti eni ekurukwanu mu enso ni sisi na emum sa na mamre no ema ho kwan na se amamre no enso no ekire
Thank you very much. In keeping with tradition, the Achempimhini happened to be the only chief who will go before Otumfuo and will have men bearing his waist and bearing him on each side to go. It is so because he happened to be the custodian of all the shields that has served all the kings or chiefs of Asante. And so you have Achempimhini who is also traditionally supposed to be the first son of the Asante Hini. And so what you just saw was the Achempimhini going to pay homage to his father traditionally. We've seen the arrival of some more dignitaries, and here you have live pictures from the Menchia Palace Park, where this morning Otumfuo Osei Tutu II sits in state to celebrate or to mark Akwasidae Kese. This is the live broadcast from the Ghana Television GTV. On commentary, my name is Darrell Alantego. I've been doing this with my sister. We have on our or in our short some more dignitaries and also guests arriving at the Durbar grounds. We have also here present some chiefs who are not from Esantemai. We have seen the arrival of the Tuareg community in Niger. We also have the Gamanche as well as his high priest, the Babu Wulomo, all here at this Durbar ground. We also have nearly every other sub-chief under Asantemaira. There's also here present the Jabingini Otumfuo, Nana Otuo Serebo II, who also doubles as the chairman of the Council of State.
Alan Mashabi Binson, Osha Edomna, Omuna Shesa, Omokochia Opemsona, Umuna, Omuni Paketo, Usoma, Omakuko school, Omoya Cratch for ending Rabba. Ha, where I can be chairman say, and then no, some fools will be buying pa. I feel ya betcha to say ya mabreno, ya one no, a yan dear.
And I know Kwasu for dear cry, Yana, Yakase Ahemfu, Enia Sofo, and I say I saw food to me, ain't me near dear, ain't he said what fires of dear, and I did a better no. They are done a show for Fronsa. They know ye sign actually about custom for from. Yes, science you try about custom for free science, say what software, would that one, would you don't want him? And no, and say a sou quine, say Ubedia, dear, not to me a boom mine. Wakwanya ebeso osoro eni asase nyina anim
eti say yehunu say na say unza omu nyina obi anim sese obi ade ahokeka pa na ekochia ohene enti a kire say banyufo no kura hu say yetotwene ya esese yesanfa
na mabra wodim darling shro konkron akwasi broni de bre ye no ena yegina aso a na ase ye kan de hye yetiri mu se ya mamre ayekura ye no eye abosomsam etie ntumuo no na ye nyina no ye po ya hensam enyina no edi egu ye se eye abosomsam no wo kai tro no a ewo edi sam ho no no a eho no na o chekere omo akwanya ewo saa krokonkron heaven no a tro konkron ka ho asam no na enika sabdo say o abubo wo mu a ewo kwan so obedi nkan akomu no eya henfuro di nkan bodi it was say na ahenfo so de wo mu animonyam baba be ahenwa no enim
aya no kre e kire say osoroje
amamretum osoroje ahensam etum
nyankopon ne si hene wasoro nyankopon ne si hene etu hene wo ye den kase wasoro nyankopon ayini a wo de bra yen no ebe ya abosomsem na sebi wo hene Paul Melchizedek ya wo bi nim ne maame anase ne papa na sofudie na onyo hene so no odi hene enu nti se yesan akofa mumma yensan fa na numunyam emma no na yemma ne nya akono se ne awopemso ene wama ahenie ne adidie aya akono enye wo man Ghana nko a nemo ebibimanyi nemu empo tra kosi koko asase so wo hwa santemani mu nyam a wode abre abibiman a ye no amia hunu se yesi ekofa yi miensa enkofa na ye nya bi emom yensa enkofa ni nanum onyam nyina se ebe ya ebedi mu
onse abrochire hima efri mu no wono a obeka kire ye se ye somabosom no be ba mso abrochire hima efri mu se ya dwene ko no ma bi so a omukofo abuo bi efri Edinburgh
ai
ade ba be ye som ma sa abo no
ai
na mpacho sa abo no mkofo a eba be ye som de ma no no
memu aya no
mu aya ne eno na kire se ya makosi kokko adada ye ne ache
ye ne yakofa abo be ye som ma na nkom be ka se ye som bosom
na se no na ye ebo no ayaya bosom abe ye suma
hu ne sa kwasi kokko na adada ye suatra suatra
ye hono ba bi asem no wo no
ye suatra wi se Kristo som no kra nse de ye sia som no ne ye si ye no no ukoduru ho a enye sa na che ebi se wu som nyame a o so kwa asore a enche so nkwa na som nyame ebi se ye akanfo ye gidie ba ko ne se
menu apani emfoni bi twa gu isisi a na ye no na me pe ne ncheche mu kakra ma hunu se chinya hodo ehia ye nyina no wa hwe a no be ka se ona boba no na jasuo ebia ne ba bieda se o ma me ncheche mu kakra eden na betimi akafa chinya hodo a ye hunu
so say ye shase no ne ye kan bibi afa sika yi agudia na ohene de afa no ho no na teacher kire bibi say ohene ene timi fa dodo bi na ayo ohene bi a ma me kan besi so say saa na tie wo chiniye na wo honum chiniye na esisi wo ni nyina no ya body eniema ahu nyina na etisa de ye sra adwuma no wo koko animu no ne ye bo wabaso enti chiniye kura ade besi uso no udibre ekire udibre a wo enti nananom a mo ho ni nyina no enye nana bia na betimi akofa chiniye bi edi asine so
udibre na chire chiniye ade besi uso
ena chiniye no so ye san di si ye so no enye se edi enwunu nkwa breye nemom esan ede mframa eba so hu se nananom wo mpagya chiniye no kwasoro na ye grawa na ano no ahu mframa ebisa huhuro wom ehye wom na ahu mframa ahu nananom ho ama omo ho adwo omo
we ye fie nyansa ya nsua no akwasika ko buku
ebida
ye ntwe no buku bi e
bi kokoko
mama mensa fa de we mra na ye nhwe enne se mohwe bibia wono mo ye tutu omo brofudi nyina osua de ko nanim kakra bi a na ode brofo na to brofudi na to na wakofa ne kredi ne twidi no a ne maame ne papa no ede eto no no mo hye saade no nso a
eye pa eno no na kire se yeguso a ye koyanim ye suade no ye ni ba ye hoso na sa de ni ba ye hoso no ebe kwantam ede amaye eno na aka because ebi ahyase hunu se ewose wosan ekowonchi nti kakra ebejebre ba minim se nyame adom yeguso a ye koyanim yi no enioma ebesesa eti ene se yejai Rosalenda ene Amanda to to yene yedi a yede edin a ne ye nananom ede efre adwoa beyie akoso aso yede tutu ye hu biewudi a ne nyame adom kakra no yeko yenchi na yenko miye na yema ye ho enye ha ewomu na yensua ade ewomu sanse se yetimi asua no neimu asua de yi a eno na yenso yasefo no yebetimi ede ewura wo mu eyie enti se de ne ubekọ fie bi mu no na brofo ne yede kire ye ma ewo ho no mu yesua yi no yenka hu no se ye kasa so so eka ye ho ye kasa eka ye ho
eno kwa na di akotene
wuntimi nyesa wo ye wa mamra bra wudi obi fufuro kasa na kire wo ba ade eti fie no fa wukuro mu kasa no yemfa ntete ye ma no
okay
yema no eka kire ma no enkopa ye nkuro mu kasa no eso broni de ande yemo mo kwan se de ma bra de ta aka mo nkosua
a obesua
na emo nye fie no e de ye beka brofo akese ɛde akyerɛ wɔ mo ɛbɛboa yɛ paa.
We have here present in your short His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, whom I've just been told is up now to go and also pay homage to Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, who is seated majestically in state. You're watching Akwasidae Kese from the Menchia Palace.
Eti Ghana Mampenia Bidiachire Dr. Alhaji Aliu Bawumia, Dr. Alhaji Mahamadu Bawumia, Wanene Yere Mame Samira Bawumia.
I see in his company the MP for Menchia South, Honorable Matthew Opoku Prempe, as well as the organizer, national organizer for the New Patriotic Party, Henry Nanabuachi, also known as Nana B. I've also seen a few members of the New Patriotic Party in this particular procession. The overhead shot you can currently see is that of His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, his wife Excellency Samira Bawumia, Nana B, Henry Nanabuachi, the national organizer of the NPP, and the MP for Menchia South, Honorable Matthew Opoku Prempe, also known as Napo. And then I see the Chief of Staff, Mama Frema Opari, or Her Excellency Frema Opari, in that procession, going to pay homage to Otumfuo Osei Tutu II. I see the Intakrahini or the Mpomponsu Hene leading His Excellency to pay homage to Otumfuo Osei Tutu. It's a beautiful display of our culture and a beautiful display of everything that defines what Asantemai is.
Alan Sawira and Takra Ehini and the Wayana Jumapa.
You need to crash in it, or you pompon so in a hand to tell a baby pompon so in it.
Medase, yeah, make a to us one. My head bear near Wahona, Emrebia, Wapuswa, Betuna near her in Nifano, Placupe, Nase, Nanim Asia. We in the near Panoa, Wamani Muso. Also, I'm not obedient. My helm, maintenance, and commodity and additional cost, and I make her now. I can't go see Sampa, one no, and whopping so right hander, baby, or Tunanibia, what yes here.
Mabra, say penny for Ebuso Edge, Dr. Yase Uchi Ridia. Na yo sosono etwa so ti bampani abedi akire ba no no nkoano e de baaye na yere e ka no ho sanso e na adwumayefo a e wa bankase mu maami a woda wo ma no maami akosia Frema Opare enso e ka ho ebi sanso so e na Menchia South na se bedwani ono aso ne so afo hwe enyinam ahoden ensam so Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe e na yakunini no dodo no ana e wo NPP amadukuo mu no edi na chiri bia wo mu nyina no e kwa akochia Asante Kotokohene na mabra mame mu bo we say so ententem so san se me wo sempanifo gu so amo so beba na ye Asante asa na no na ye nwie emu ensam no e na me de aka no to aso ye dinka ma ye na hwefo ne achiefo tie no se ye ka se Akwasidae no a ye enda aduanan mienu ebia no e na Akwasidae no esi ewo Asante asa na no mu na Akwasidae no echi no ne de toso aduonu enan enso no eye ewukude na ye hya no so se ena kasie mienu na sa ena asan ye amamre no ye gitumu pa no eye Akwasidae eni ewukude na emom no ebi enso no eka ho enso ebi na ewukude echi eye fiada a edi ade echi no eye for yawo fiada edi ade echi no eye for yawo eno eda nche ya memene da edi ade echi eno so no eye memene da papa ena afi ade echi twada enso eye ade twada na Akwasidae echi na nsa eye for wukuo saa so na fowukuo echi na enu eye ade fiada chi na nsa eye inchi juo ena afei so no inchi juo na mienu echi no enso eye akra dware no eye na na mienu ena nananom enso ede eye saa amamre no na afei kwasiada wufiri so a
honorable Samuel Abujinapo ena akochia se
wufiri so a na wo kọ ewukude eso no eye for kwasie saa so na for kwasie no echi na enu eye benada dapa echi enso no eye ukuada eno so no eye ewukude na ewukude echi na nsa eye memeneda for men ena afei for mene enso echi enansia eye fofie echi enansia eye for
yawo. Interaction between the wife of Otumfuo, Lady Julia Osei Tutu, exchanging pleasantries with some of the dignitaries who are here to support Otumfuo as he marks Akwasidae Kese. That is the elegant, royal, majestic wife of Otumfuo Osei Tutu II.
Yo hunu se asante kotoko hene ni debrichi anase kotoko hene eyere ye maame Lady Julia ye wo se wapeja ni mu eninti amamre kwan so no eche kotoko hene eyere bekwa akochia no amamre kwan so.
I've just asked for explanation to why whoever goes before Otumfuo would bring down the cloth off their shoulder so that it comes to their chest as they go to pay homage. And I have just been informed that tradition demands that nobody comes before Otumfuo fully clad. It is a sign of respect and acknowledgement of his authority. And so as we watch these beautiful scenes from the Mensha Palace, we're also seizing the opportunity and the moment to learn about our culture and also learn about our traditions.
Enunji twabo no de edom no eguso a edom no guso a eba na sede na yedikan edi atudwa no ene ebeka se ene chen da kotokohina budwa na ene kotokohine etwaboyi echen da sanse wo hwe ene edomu a ewo twabro mu a na tise unu se ampa ne ewiase ni nyina no ene menhia ahimfie sanse ene kotokohini fie aduonu enum ehu afahye eye Akwasidae Kese no yade a nintini atotowuro atope ena efiri oman entwea so ena afi amaya etwe ye ho hia ne man hodo so nyina no edi wani monyam enso no abeta ekirem na de a efe no ene se obia so no eba wode na mamre ene na mane ena wura menhia ahimfie ene eninti wo hwe ayade a wode bache kotokohene no a sede na mamre kwan so sia na ade no saa no wode boa no ho edi mu adoye ede bechere
you have heard
ayade a emano eye fe yi papa etinesa wo bedu kotokohene fi ha no se ya enye asante amamre nko a ena yehunu ewa ha no se yi amamre hodo enene ekoso kotokohene fi.
Just gone in your short was the Otumfuo sword, beautifully carried on the shoulders of Otumfuo Hene, who has gone out there to bring a dignitary to pay homage to Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, Asante Kotoko Hene, as he sits in state celebrating Akwasidae Kese. We have currently in your short the man whose back was to camera was the Otumfuo Hene, who bears the Otumfuo sword and also wears the Ntakrache. He will always be seated to the right hand of Otumfuo Osei Tutu II. In essence, his duty is to inform Otumfuo which dignitary is present to pay homage. And so every now and then, Otumfuo will look in his direction, and by an eye contact, he's able to say exactly what Otumfuo is saying, and will rise, and upon return will show up with a dignitary or two who will be paying homage to Otumfuo as he sits in state. The crowd here is absolutely humongous, and we have currently approaching Otumfuo, a dignitary from Niger. You're watching GTV, the live broadcast by the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation of the Akwasidae Kese, coming to you from the Menshia Palace, where Otumfuo himself is seated in state. The significance of today's celebration goes without saying that it is also the commemoration of the 25th anniversary of the reign of Otumfuo Asante Kotokohene Otumfuo Osei Tutu II. It also marks the celebration of his 75th birthday. Additionally, it marks the observance of the 150th anniversary of the Sagranti War, as well as the 100th anniversary of the return of Nana Prempeh I, who was exiled by the Brits or the British government at the time to the Seychelles Islands. You have just gone in your short door, you can hear him, one of the subjects whose duty and job it is to bring appellations to Otumfuo. Just gone is one of the few people who identifies with Asante Mai and Asante Maira. Apia Stadium is commonly or affectionately called. This Akwasidae is significantly different, despite the many commemorative dates marking the observance of Akwasidae. It is also the day when the physical and spiritual authority of Asante Mai comes out And that is what you can have in your shot to the right, the Sikadwakofi, the gold stool, which many refers to as the golden stool. It is the gold stool. Indeed, it is a gold stool, not a golden stool.
Alan Sikadwa sama woke. Ya tight so Kwasi Broni ene asante eko ye no ofa Sikadwa koy. Eti de ye hunu no enye Sikadwa. Na emom papa pa no de Broni de ko ena nana no mashada akwanwini bie na omode abesi ho fembon.
Sansem no enya no kre da so Broni fa Sikadwa koy. Sa wo hwe abakusam mu anaso hwe ngumam anaso kɔ Britain English abrochimam na akɔhwehwɛ ajapade a ɔmo fa free asantemam ɔmo na enyo ɔmo den so ɔmo kyerɛ sɛ ɔmo bɛfa bibi free ha kɔɔyɛ enso ɔmo no ɔmo fin sɛ ɛno no ɛyɛ ade sonku bi a ɔmo nananom ayɛyɛ enso ɔmo nananom kɔɔsa ɛna ɔmo saa nneɛma enti de ma ɔmo fa ne samu nyinaa no wɔn de aton krataa so ɛwɔ hɔ kyerɛ saa deɛ we yɛ fae sɛbe edua deɛ di dua koraa sensa sɛ dua koraa ɔbɛfae no wɔde ato hɔ hwɛ so ɛbɔ ho ban na sɛbe ne nti sɛ Sikadwa no nka wɔnka ɛma wiase nyinaa nte ɛne yɛ nyinaa so da bia yɛka ɛma wɔn so ti bi sɛ Sikadwa no ɛde so wɔ hɔ ɛnka wɔn bɛba abɛka kyerɛ yɛ sɛ ɛnka wɔn bɛba abɛka kyerɛ sɛ Sikadwa no daabi ya de koi ne de ho mfonyine beba fi say ya ka museum a ye board ye hu da wulo ya wo me na wona kase enti kom de beto wa ma obi abehwe abehunu se na no ye koi ye niam se bibru o mo be fa koi ya ji wo mo che okwa wo mo nwoma wa ye che se we ya na mo be fa e wa ha eno ba bia da bia soso no wo mu nim na yen kwa sa esa no ho e de sa Sikadwa ho nsensem bae o nse ewo afi apem a ha nwotwe adwoso enan eye se Charles Garnet Wesley wono no wode ne dom eba Kumase ne wono yentimi monidin ni tie fensa grant no wo mo bae se wo mo bepe kwan on befa so mbedi asante so ni nyina na ne asa ama English abrofo ene asante kokokoko ya ye di akun bebre ye ne English abrofo di akun bebre ebi wo ha wo mo ba wo mu dwiri ne edan gu a no mo asesa mu ne makọ na akun no mu nyina ne se wo mpesa asante no a eye ewode ne ho no eba be hye brodi na mamu ase eno na eye omo adwiri mu pa na omo pese omo de edi yedi kon bi se ye nte pene so ekwohye omo ase a enko obefe ye yonko na enso so asante no baabi ade asante bekọ no wontimi mfa asante hini nkohye obi ase wontimi mfa Sikadwa nkohye obi ase enu nti ena asante man no abre bia na broni ne be prese wode ya bekọ na amamu no na asante ente ase enti ko enu kwa awiye na se Charles Garnet Wesley ne dom be shi Kumase won be shi Kumase no mo san hu se asante man san chichiri Kumase biem no mo hu se asante fo ye hu eno ana broni no wo trase afa kwan foforo so a wo be dwendwen ho na nko asan aba no ne aba asante fo adi abedi hyamu biem eno anasa nsawo so ne aba abakum biem no eno no wo mo an o te se wa fe apema ha nwotwe adwo wotwe nwotwe eye 1888 asante fo de wo hene foforo bi aba nimfie ni nkwa animu zabre no no wadi mfie du nwotwe eye Otumfuo Agyeman Prempa odikan ye befe na nakwakudwi a otoso miensa tabra broni ti se ye de na nakwakudwi otoso miensa aba eye na na Prempa odikan aba no o mo so se kura de ni kwase ye he ho kura pepri ye hu biem evi se we de se bi ebru se bi anyado wo sane de wo beti asem asentem ye kwa nyane kwa ye kwa defe na wo bepre so no de ne man no aba abehye ase ena broni ba e one ne bekan no hu se se sante ne de obedi a wonya ketwa obedi a tumi no anananum kura dadadada no ena edeso wo hu se ti yo mba no mu se je asam dada na no mde so te ho ti wo mo kwae no mo san akobọ pọ foforo no mo adwenwe no mo bu so a wo mo fo mo ho adwene na e no mo te say Europe amama ni bi akohia wo Berlin so mo pese mo chicha bibima mu no mo di so na Europe amama ni bi te say French for German for Portuguese for wo mo akohia so mo pese mo chicha bibima mu no mo di so sabra no so no English abrofo no etis campo ano a wo mo te epona no pe a wo mo esoso pass wo mu di asante so na emom wo mu ntimi nya kwan me di asante so na se koba ne saade a yetena ne ye ben krofoi na se yehwe man krofoi tena ho chicha bibimam na asante fo from baabi ekodi wo mu nsam di a ne ye ya ha ye ho ewi se yeti hai ye pesika kokko ne nkwa na ato edwa ebedi ye niema titru pa ye to no osante ni suso wodi dom bebre so ena baabi o wonu su na sika kokko no wo onsa sante hene ne man na odi so na so ewi se English broni bi a no otwere nwoma na efe no Robert Agiten otwere nwoma bi wotu ni di wo brofukasam said the fall of the Asante Empire, 100-year war between the Asantes and the British. Wo church said the Asante hini ni tumi ni sunsu ni huhu sitie no wo say ansane ya be hye afe apema henkono ase no na Asante hini nipa odi so no na omoboro mpem million miensa na saa nipa no na oburu million miensa saa abre no na odoso eche se ye che US abrochimanu mu nipa wo ho mu mienu a na odoso chen ba akọ odoso che fa saa so de che United Kingdom no emanu mu enan a na doso che ba akọ saa so na doso che nipa na wo England saa abre no no okire ekwanya Asante no otete to mu hu se saa nipa wo dom sei ye chichem ne ma obi bedi won so a ebe ya den enti saa na te de a se ye nko no boko biem ye nto sanfre edom ebi free soja for free Senegal, Nigeria, Gambia, Sierra Leone, Jamaica. One more just for Sabra and Bessa and Pimionu and Pimian any ahanu and one more bar say one more barbache ever to Asha Sante so one by an apprempe any man for a G Shamu I want a him fear doom or catch any man for say said the Brunia Sabobo and Huabano Menin and Konda Nanam say Ada was a mimma Mama and Famenco, who says a new Brunico said he was a bob and hono, no hono. Say, no, obedience, were dear so obedience so, I could see you. And none of my Brunice and Aprampo decline. One in a mamma, Nanaya cha, at one call, Elimina Castor, dinner, a what now, Nanim Asante, Asante. O Santini, Abra, or yes, one Bruniba Cono. Walk on one fafemu. Jeswano, ewa pakan, eswa ma meso sekom, ena antifri ha ekosi edina. Wode no kwa na Asantefo ze da, ye ne so na antifri krom ha ekọ edina se ye nsanfa Asante hene ensamra. Broni si nkrofo wo mu wo sa na te de ye mfa no nkọ ba bia kwan wa. Na Asantefo antimi anante anko Odini free edina de no ko Sierra Leone Asantefo na antifri Kumase ko Sierra Leone e ko sra no sabre no no kwa Sierra Leone so ni animu kantie se ye ko Sierra Leone na nanom yam se ye ko Sierra Leone wo mu na antifri akọ Freetown Sierra Leone ko sra Asante hene bronis na nkrofo be ni na chese baabi a wodin Asante ne be ko bia etimi na ante ko de on be na ante aba on be na ante akọ na bronis na se ahwehwe mu hu se Asantefo ade ba ko pe omutimi ye bibia na de ba ko bi wo ho Asantefo ni mu ye eni se Asantefo ni mu asudwale won se ba bia eti no asuwo bia na anti ni mu asudwale nti ya di ni twa Indian Ocean no e ko se hye suposo ze wo fresh antini se wo medwale nso mo be ka che se madamfo enkwanye mienu na mde ba ko adi agro anaso be ka che se enkwanye de we na me ka kira professor be se wo mde ba ko be ka ho when I'm the prophet and there was say obaka cho se me fie nya and one ma to de no course lele no ah de no free lele course sessions no ho no hu broni hu say santene ka asa ni man ti ampa no o ko fi say wo de ne ko na nso so asantefo de so won kan bomu ni nyina cha say santehini wo wo supo ne so a asantefo de wo hene fufuro be so wa ha e de obuo ni ani die no a wo no ama no eno na ma o yes wo be hwehwe sikadwa kofi so hu say sikadwa kofi wo ho a wu si santehini yeye sikadwa kofi ni wo de asantehini man ni ho ena brodi na ne fence Frederick Hudson no si English abrochire hima Victoria namu ewo sikampo ano ha no woni santefo be hyiamu wo Kumasi adum baabi a ye fro se Fort St George ehwo na se ya Ghana Armed Forces Museum no aha woni won be ye hyiamu no no de to na nanu mani say me ba ha kra se me mu be ye hyiamu no mo afo buoni ani de bia ama me every say akonya kra mo de ma metena so no ye de bia na asensene sa akonya we nka mo de ma asante hene na atena so a ka mo de sika kokko be bobo ho enti sa ni amo ho sam kakra enti no sika dwa kofi no kra mo nko family me ma metena so ehwo ye din na no ma no mo obi se oba hema ya asanto aye dweso hema wo sole ebusa na no mo se ade na mema mo ayeti se mu fin se mu suro broni kokoye ogina ho edi a mo mfa modanta megemetam they should exchange panties with her no nya se bema no mo so nya se ma okoso busa broni se wo ba no hu na prempansa na oba na o si da bi o se ne ko fa ne bra no me chiro ba bi asikadwa wo se sikadwa no wo ne kura wo ne ye ne dia wona nanom hunuanom mo be fa na prempa akono wo mo ama hene kwan ama no oni obi ankasa ti wo mo ama no kwan ama oni obi ankasa nti wantimi ankere ba bia sikadwa no ewo ti so ope sikadwa de a ko fa no no mra no mecho ba bia sikadwa wo broni hwe na ya asanto anim sa so wo kan anutum wo ka so kan anutum so ne me ka che so wo chena samansu jafo obenya kununom wo chena mema bewu me no obekona me no okwa emema na me no wo no obekona o mu hu a wo mu sunsun bekwa asamando ene ma na wo na kwadwuwa ani tie ha no tunana ya asanto abobo adoma no ko na prempa himfia ne wadum ekofa sikadwa edifiri ho yede ko obale kese ema oni broni di boani ekonu kwa awie no broni hwehwe sikadwa wa hu nti wo twaja tuwo na himfiem ehye no wanya sikadwa ohun sai me ankofa ya asanto amra okwahwehwe ya asanto a wode ne ba no wa hu sikadwa to wode ne to afia so wa ha kakra che twa na su ema ne kokana na prempem ho enti so obi ka che sai sikadwa broni nya de koya oboa enya no kre eda
yo mabra kakra me de ka de menua aka ho no ene se yakasa asante yo man broni na sakoskoko amaya wone wo mo eko ye no oze asante ehye oman bi emu eye Ghana man mu na asante ehye enti anka broni beka se wone Ghana ena ekwa akoko wani Togo ena ekoko enti broni wa chechire amaya hodo a wone wo mu edi akon no wode asante eka ho
ai na just asante yo man.
Thank you very much. You're still watching live feed from the Menchia Palace of the observance of Akwasidae Kesi on commentary. My name is Darrell Alantego. My sister, Mami Abna Denta, joined my commentary team. We have just been joined by Dr. Thomas Ejaku Poku. He is the medical superintendent at the Sontreso Hospital. Doctor, thank you very much for joining us once again. We are watching currently what is happening in and around Menchia, the observance of Akwasidae Kesi. We observed how at some point the Entakrache, the one wearing the Entakrache or the Mpomponsu Hene, will make eye contact with Opimswo and then get up. Immediately he does that and return, he does so with either one or more dignitaries behind him. Is that a kind of rehearsal? Do they rehearse this kind of communication, or it is something they would know ordinarily?
Mpomponso or Mpomponso is for the Otumfuo, and the one who is keeping the Mpomponso has this feather hat. Among other things, his duties, among other things, is to run errand for the king. So if the king wants to send to call somebody, that is his duty. So it is his responsibility to invite visitors to come and greet him and send them out. It is his responsibility to convey information specifically from him to some of the chiefs. For example, if it's about time for him to get up, he would then alert the Mpomponso Hene to go around all the chiefs to inform them that it's time he wants to get up. Then Mpomponso comes back to report that they have all heard it, and therefore you can move. Otumfuo will never get up without informing the chief that he is getting up. Again, when we have funeral, it's the duty of Mpomponso to distribute gifts and drinks to everybody who attended in groups. So the Mpomponso is the ear of the king when he sits in state. Nobody else does it.
I'm not sure if this would have been something we would be so privileged to have. But when people go to Opimswo to greet, that's General Asidu Nketia, the chairman of the National Democratic Congress, in your short. Back to my question. We have men pull down their cloth as they approach Opimswo. What is the significance of that?
From a distance, you may see that he's showing respect. But what is behind this practice is that we are cautious. In fact, they have been observing things. Things are smooth now. In the past, somebody can go closer to the chief and stab him. And they have a special knife which they were hiding in their cloth. So when you come before the king, we must see your shoulders, so that if you have that thing hiding, then we will know. And over time, this came to be associated with the king. So that is it. Before you approach him, you must show your shoulders, no matter who you are.
Right.
If you decide to come to the palace in a cloth, then you must show your shoulders. Otherwise, if you are in shirt, you don't show your shoulders. But we will watch you. So that is why we do that.
We have different categories of dignitaries going to pay homage or greet Opimswo. Would we know when he extends his hand and they hold his hand? Would we be in a position to tell what the exchanges will be depending on the dignitary?
It's difficult. Some are friends. So, for example, if Sam Jonah is going to greet the king, what are they going to talk about? Perhaps to say that the thing is fine because they've been talking. Okay. No, a lot of people are here, or today you'll be tired. That sort of conversation. But if Bafakin or the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is coming to greet, perhaps if it's the first time since he visited Ghana, then they will be exchanging pleasantries. But he's been here. He attended dinner with him and a lot of things. He will be talking to him about how this Deba is and how many people are here and say, congratulations, you've done well. So these are some of the things they talk about when some of them also share jokes. I mean, close friends, yes.
The manner in which Opimswo will attend a Deba, his arrival, how different will that be from his departure?
For his departure, the first thing he will do is to send the Mpomponso Hene to inform all the paramount chiefs that it's about time he gets up. After that, the same Mpomponso Hene will also go to the visitors to inform them that we want to get up. Now when he returns, the Babs and the Abrafo and them will be singing
Okay.
There's a small ceremony. They will be singing, informing people. Then somebody will shout, "Oh, sorry, oh," means he's getting up.
Yes.
Then he will get up. From there, he adjusts his cloth and then take few steps. He will turn left and right and greet the chiefs there. And then they will all join him. He will step down and then go through all of them, all the paramount. Because in the morning, they didn't get a chance to greet him because of the time. So he decided that today, after getting up there, he will go around to greet each of them. Also greet all the visitors before he will go home. He may decide to be in Palanquin or decide to be walking about. If it's in Palanquin, it's the same thing. He will pass in front of them, they will come forward, and then he will greet them. So that is how it's going to be. And then the procession will then move the same way. The Samanka will be first, and the Ankobia and others will be last.
I observed also how you have some drums behind him, the phantom from you call them. When you beat those drums, do they communicate something to Otumfuo?
Drums do not beat, they talk. And sometimes we say talking drums. In the years past, that is what we were using. So that if you come here, every paramount chief has a way of beating the drum. So once the drum is beat, then you know that they are there. So all the drums will talk. There are a few things you didn't see outside there. When he was inside coming, there are small drums, and they will be beating. He has to stand there, watch them for about 5 minutes to note before he moves on. So he recognizes all the drums around, and he knows how to dance to each of them. Some of them you don't have to dance, you listen. Some of the drums, when they are sounding, females do not dance, and it is only the bravo who will dance, and sometimes the adishia, the royals will dance. It can beat for the whole day, and nobody is supposed to dance. Yes, there are small drums always behind him. Yeah.
You're still watching GTV, and what you see in your shot currently is the live broadcast from the Menchia Palace. It is the observance of Akwasidae Kese, hugely significant at this year's Akwasidae Kese is, among other things, the marking of the 150th anniversary of the Saguarenti War, as well as the 100th anniversary of the return of Nana Prempeh I from exile in the Seychelles Islands. It also marks the 74th anniversary of the birth of Otumfuo Osei Tutu II. It also marks the 25 years of his reign as Asante Hene. What you currently see are dignitaries making the way on the red carpet to pay homage and also greet Asante Hene. He receives everyone. You just saw the Attorney General, Honorable Godfred Yabo Adame, who is also making his way to shake the hands of Otumfuo Osei Tutu II. Doctor, when dignitaries arrive to pay homage, do they do so at the request of Nana, depending on their stature in society, or that you have a list which protocol follows to usher them before Nana?
We have a protocol list, and as you could see, the first gentleman of the land did the first thing, the vice president. So the vice president was the first person to greet, and then the others. All of them were invited. In fact, there is a protocol list to invite some of the dignitaries here. So if you see, watch the Mpomponsuo move, and then the Achame Henekendengrechi will follow.
Okay.
They have a paper.
Yeah.
And on which I written the list of people who occasionally you will see one or two dropping in, but it has been arranged who should come and who not to come. Today we want it to be very smooth, and therefore if you are minister and you are mentioned, your name is mentioned and you are coming, they will come, the chairman will come and pick you, and no other will follow, because they should wait for their turn. In the past, you will find that the whole lot of people will be following to him, and the place will be very congested. It's very hot today, and we are trying to avoid that today.
Again, when Otumfuo is seated in state as he is, do we have a set time when, whether all dignitaries have made it to him or not, he will have to rise?
We are trying to go by our time, and it's moving very smooth today. We're hoping that by 4 p.m. he will be up, because after this deba, he will then go in to entertain some of the guests. So we want the greetings to be very fast. All that they are doing, the greeting, after the dignitaries have gotten their chance to greet him, is finished. The ceremony is over. And as I've been describing from the morning, Akwasidae is just when the king is seated in state for people to greet, that's all. We don't do ceremonies here. All the ceremonies, rituals we have to do, we have done that in the morning. And all Nananom here, they have performed that in their homes before coming. So here, it is just greetings. The royals will come and greet first, and then after that, selected few kings, the children will go and greet, the wife will go and greet, and then the queen mother, that's so. And after that, the rest of.
Isn't it curious that Otumfuo will sit in state and his wife will come and greet him?
People think that about our arrangement, the wife of the king is not the queen as pertain in other institutions. So sometimes they think that the wife of the king is a queen. No, but is given special place and accorded the most respect. So the wife of the king is not part of the royal house. It's a wife, it's a whole institution. In fact, note that in the Ashanti culture, there are 3 people who have land, own land. So we can say that this land belongs to this person. A chief will be given a land. And then the priest of a deity, Otumfuo, the bosom will be given a land to use to serve the king. And then the next person to get is the wife. So if you are buying a land from here in Ashanti region or in Ashanti kingdom, the one who should sign, the final one, should be a chief or the wife of the Asantehene or Otumfuo. And so you see, they are given special. And that is why we use the Oheneyiri. Oheneyiri is not one person. And because at a point in time there is one person there, we decide to avoid using, and that is why we are comfortable using lady to move with it. Otherwise, it's also Oheneyiri. Now, once the king marries from a house, perpetually, you have to produce somebody from there. So the house Otumfuo Osei Tutu married 300 or so years ago, they still present somebody here as the wife of the Asantehene. When the person dies, another one is nominated and then shown to the Asantehene and then presented to the chief as a wife. And that person is called Oheneyiri.
Ceremonial wife?
Yes, Oheneyiri. So we have hundreds of them. And this is because these people, you are not getting a title only. You have land and people to take care of. So if you come around and you see a lot of chiefs, it is not just a title. Once you've been designated as a chief, you have land and people to take care of. So the wife of the king would then, Asantehene will greet him officially, and then find his seat at where the Queen Mother and the royals are, for them to take care of her until the ceremony is over. So you see, typically, this is a traditional setup. If the Asantehene is to attend a function, normal functions, then the wife will sit by. In some cases, unlike Akwasidae, when it's not as big as this, the wife of the Asantehene and the Asantehene will sit at the same place.
Throughout all that we have observed since morning, that's the majestic Sikejwa Kofi in your shot. One thing I have noted is the very less, if not completely, out the mentioning of Asantehene. Doesn't she play any role at Akwasidae?
The Asantehene is there, so those who come to greet, they are also greeting the Asantehene. So perhaps we will tell the cameraman also to show, because once they greet Asantehene, there's a way out. They march out, and then Asantehene is sitting. Asantehene is sitting on the left, so they will go there and greet Asantehene. So the cameraman must also put it on Asantehene to see how they do it.
Indeed, it's a very good observation, because then people would think the queen doesn't matter in the celebration or the observation or the observance of Akwasidae Kese, and that must be corrected before we do any other thing. We're learning through the celebration of Akwasidae Kese, and you're watching live from the Menchia Palace Park, where Otumfuo Osei Tutu II is seated in state, receiving dignitaries as part of the observance of Akwasidae Kese. On commentary, my name is Darrell Alantego, your servant, and it's a GTV live telecast. With me in commentary is my sister Abna Denta, Mami Abna Denta. She has helped us with a lot of the translation from the English to the G, so we all understand. Indeed, the shot you have currently is that of Otumfuo Osei Tutu, Nana Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, marking 25 years of his reign as Asantehene. And to his right, you see a man wearing a feather hat with horns and a python protruding from the feathers. He is known as the Mpomponsu Hene. Indeed, he bears the Mpomponsu sword, or the Mpomponsu, which has over time been corrupted to be Mpomponsu. It is Mpompon Ensong, and indeed he is the right-wing man of the Asantehene. And so all the dignitaries you see approaching Asantehene has already been through or seen by the Mpomponsu Hene, without which they would not be allowed to come any close to Nana Asantehene. While seated, Otumfuo sits on different skins, and so we have the elephant skin, we have the lion skin, and we have that of the tiger. Ote. The Akan is Krogre, Krevri, Eddie Brevri. Bless you, bless you. That's why you have my back. That's why you have my back.
It is an interesting thing. You see, the Ashanti Kingdom was created, and everything about it. One of Otumfuo Osei Tutu was coming all the way from Akomu. He had already been informed that he's going to be the leader for the Kwaman. It was Kwaman. So he prepared himself. He had a lot of training. Fortunately for him, he had a big chief, Nana Asasa Seku of Akwamu. And therefore we owe a lot of the things we do here. Akwamu people.
Wonderful.
The way we fight and everything, we learn a lot from the Akwamu people. And what is interesting again is that Osei Tutu, but then has stayed in 2 other Akan states. He first went to Denchira, so he learned a lot from Denchira, and then he moved to Tachiman. He learned a lot from the Bono people before going to Akwamu. So he was well resourced in terms of knowledge on governance and the traditions and culture, because they are all Akan. Whatever we do here, we do the same thing at Bono, we do the same thing at Akwamu, and the same thing at Denchira. When they were coming, most of the items you see, they prepared them. The Denchemche, the Banguma, the lion, of course, lions were here. Some of the items we took them from the north. I mean, we learned from the north. We don't have cows here.
No.
So the cow tail, the bodia Azantehini uses, is part of somebody's culture which has been assimilated into our culture. Now the pinting drums, when it's come, you see some group of people beating drum with their hands, and they hang them. It's round one.
Yes.
Now watch, when Yana is moving, it's the same drums.
Wonderful.
So our association with the Gomba people, we learned some of their things, and we also incorporated into our culture. So that is it. And again, any powerful chief that's around, when you conquer you, we will take any variable item that we have and bring it here. And bring it here, whether you are within Ashanti Kingdom or outside. And we show them, display them.
So indeed, I have heard the origin of the name Asante itself is that of war. But interesting is as you mentioned, the assimilation, or that's the introduction of the porcupine, which has become one of the many significant emblems of Asante. The word Asante Kotoko, is it the actual word or one that's been corrupted over time?
The Asante, Osanti, Osa, Yekosa, Asa Bebri. Good. Now Kotoko is Kotoko. Remember that we named that animal Kotoko. Of course, we call Osuno, the lion Osuno. Nobody told us that the animal, I mean, our forefathers saw it, they say Osuno Kokroko, then Chem, so that sort of thing. And then among all the animals, we realized that porcupine was dangerous. Perhaps it has killed many people and nobody dare go closer. It's by experience that whereas it is easy to stand somewhere and shoot at a lion or any of the animals and kill them, it is not so with the porcupine. You try, you shoot, and then the things will come to you and kill you. So they say that don't try it. Now our numbers, I mean the porcupine, he has hundreds of them, and then he throws them out like that with all the energy. So he doesn't need to come closer to you. Now, and when we started our wars, our strategy and tactics were like that. We learn. We have the front, we have the back, we have the wing, and then we have the main body, the Adontin. So we have Benkumini Fan, Adontin, that is the main body. And then we have those at the back, Chidomo. Now we don't go just like that. So you may destroy kill the front, but those from the left and the right will attack you that way. When you think that you are done, then the back will come. So Ukuma Pimo Apembeba. That was it.
Okay. Wonderful.
So we were fighting with numbers, not with the instrument. Numbers we were destroyed or they conquer us when they introduced guns, powerful ones, in 1878. Before then, we were fighting them. Again, the idea of naming some of the animals after our things we do. A typical one is the bonsu. We didn't have the word bonsu with us.
Indeed, you have no seeds.
When the king Osei Mensa Sibobonsu fought all the way to the coast, he stepped the sea.
Into the
wonderful.
sea.
They had never seen it before.
Yes.
Such a big, huge river. And then he asked them, which animal is bigger inside this river?
Inside the sea.
Then they said, the whale. or Bonsu. So then call me Bonsu because I've conquered the sea. Yes. So that's it.
Wonderful.
You can hear the names Okuji and Sio, Berima, that sort of thing. It's the things they have done.
We're still watching live telecast of the Akwasidae Kese from the Menchia Palace, where Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, His Royal Majesty, has been seated and receiving dignitaries who are coming in to pay homage. You have some performers just gone by. To your left is the Entakrache, worn by the Mpomponsu Hini, who bears the Mpomponsu sword. Quite significant, Doctor, also is the element or the signature implement on the Mpomponsu sword. Could you kindly talk us through them?
There are 14 of them, and we can see it from here. When the king is sitting on his left, on his right. Note, look at where the Mpomponsu is sitting.
Yes.
It's on the right.
That's the one in your shot currently. The Mpomponsu is the one in your shot currently.
The Mpomponsu is the Jutekudwo.
Okay.
The Jutekudwo is also called Batafoja.
Batafoja.
Yeah. We don't keep silver coins in it. It's a silver. Then we have different types of them, and depending on the ceremony. So today is white. When it's going for funeral, the color is different. And this thing is ubiquitous.
Okay.
Wherever the chief is, the Asantehene is, it must be there. He must sleep with it. Anywhere he goes, the Batafoja.
Even when he's traveling outside of
and the Batafoja has been in existence before the Ashanti Kingdom was formed.
Tell us.
The Kwaman time, they fought wars, lost, and then they decided, where is the power? Where is it? Then they were told that it is with one of the chiefs. He is hiding the power. So they started fighting this man. They went there and it was difficult. This Adujamfi man, king, was a powerful man. It was difficult to conquer him and take that power from him. So they sent somebody to go and stay there, got married in the royal house for 3 years, and then he managed to get back information. So they went there, marched there, and then conquered this and took this away from him. And since then it has been with us, and this is our power. Sometimes the king will have to put his hand on it and speak. We believe, like the Ark of the Covenant, we have an ark with us, and that is where our power is. And it goes everywhere. So you ask, why is the king going to a place and then this man always, we see this man carrying this pot? What is in it? Now there are two pots there in display. The Batafoja or the Jutekudwo will be sitting. But there's another one that keeps on standing. Somebody carries a pot, and that pot is called Mensio, and it is from the kitchen. They're sold off for those who cook. So that's where he gives the water. And when you need water, they will give it. So this water, you shouldn't sit down. The one carrying the water must stand throughout the ceremony. And you always see him standing to the left of the chief. Now the swords are 14 of them. 7 on the right side and then 7. Some of the swords are used to for servicing. I mean, when they are performing rituals. Some of them are kept in the house. Many years the king will be sleeping and we have the swords lying up around his bed. So everything here is very significant. The swords, of course, they were the swords they were using to fight years back and now it is a ceremonial object. It's no more in use. But we display them. It's like the guns. They are carrying guns here, and those guns we don't use them anymore. By ceremony, these are guns used by various Asantehene. So anytime you go there, they will show you the gun used by Mensa Bonsu, gun used by Kofi Kakari and others.
Why will every Asantehene have or create a sword as well as a gun? What's the significance?
It's important that you leave an imprint. Okay. And it can be anything.
Okay.
So it can be an object. And it has been a practice that they use this object, but because this object, like the sword, is used almost every time. And we display them and then we mention them. So the Otumfuo Osei Tutu the second has his own. The one his successor will also create same so. Note that the parents of these swords are also chiefs. They are not just people, servants moving around. We can't call them servants. They are not servants. They are chiefs in their own right. From here, when they go to their hometowns, people have to put umbrella on them. They have people, they have land, vast land. So in Ashanti, being a chief is not an ordinary thing. Some of them, you may think that is just a small thing here, but go and see the people. So when they were coming, you saw them. Yeah. Today, the Abrimpong, who are basically senior chiefs, traditional leaders within the Kumasi Traditional Council.
Honorable
Yes. Now everybody is here today.
Yes, and that's Alan Chemating, Honorable Alan Chemating
is going to greet. It's not easy. Today is hot.
It's a very hot day.
Yes.
It's a very hot day. That's Honorable Johnson Asiedu Nketia. Also, I see Kojo Bonsu behind him. You're watching the live broadcast of the Akwasidae Kese here at the Menchia Palace. Seated in state is the Asantehene Otumfuo Osei Tutu II. We have had quite a good number of visitors and dignitaries come through to greet Otumfuo as he's seated in state, and currently waiting his turn to greet is Honorable Alan Chemating, leader and founder of the Movement for Change. Indeed, what I have not observed or seen today is the usual political representation, which sometimes comes to create some division. Whether you like it or not, people immediately identify with it. They take a certain posture. That is missing on us today. Why is it so?
It was policy from day one that we do not want such a thing here.
You can't come to Menchia and come in your party colors.
Now you remember that when Nana Otumfuo Osei Tutu was giving out the outline or talking about the program, especially of that day, he said that we will not allow any political party to bring his people in there. Today the soldiers were on hand. Usually when the vice president or any of such people are coming, they will follow them in their numbers. We stop them down
right at the gate.
Yes, not to come and then mess up here. So if you go to the center there, we don't have any party colors. We don't want party. Well, after all, they will come and be making noise, fight there, but they are all good friends. They are talking on the days, exchanging pleasantries, but the people will be fighting. And when we did that, it is not holding. You don't see any party colors around.
Yes.
And it is time that traditional leaders or groupings also go by that.
Yeah.
At this stage, we are not for any other political party. They are all here. We are all visitors to the palace.
That's the performance by the Tuareg Nigerian community, who are here in their numbers also to pay homage. It's quite significant as well to note that you have dignitaries coming all the way from Niger in their traditional regalia, mounted on camel backs, and here to pay homage. What's the relationship between Asante Mai and Niger?
Asante has been in existence for almost 400 years. And note that before the Europeans came here, we were dealing with people from Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, and people were moving even from Egypt and Libya to come and buy gold. Even slave trade started with them. The slave trade we saw later part in the 17th and 18th century began with them. They were coming down here to buy slaves to the north. So our association with them dates back to many years. Now, over the past 100 years, we'll also be dealing with them because they have been coming. We also send delegation to them when there's a funeral. We go to Niger, we go to Burkina Faso, we go to the northern part of Ghana. And they have people here. We accord them the needed respect and they have been informing their chiefs. Again, Otumfuo Osei Tutu the second has traveled more than any other Sadene. Of course, now it is easy to travel, and you can't say the same for Prempeh the second and perhaps Opokuwari. Access to traveling is very much, and people are inviting here and there, and therefore some of them are reciprocating what he has done. They are now coming here to also pay homage to him. We've been attending festivals of this in Swaziland, in Uganda, in Morocco, in South Africa. We've been going Trinidad and Tobago. We're there. So it's no wonder Trinidad and Tobago, they are also here today.
Yes.
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 So wherever he has been to, they are sending delegation here today, or in course of the year, if you have another ceremony, they will be coming. Of course, we are going to have Akwasidae and Ukude before the year ends.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure some of these people who could not attend will come.
I see also each time a dignitary goes forward to greet Otumfuo, the Mpomponso Hene will hold Otumfuo's hand somehow while they exchange pleasantries.
You see, what he carries, the Asante carries on him depends on where he's going. It is very close here. And all these things are gold. It's heavy on him. Sometimes they have to support him with the hand to greet. So it is not just that they just want to hold his hands. But he needs the support sometimes. But it has been a tradition. But if you go into it, because they dress him from his house, he's not putting all this things. We come to the palace and then dress him like that. And as soon as they do that, then it is difficult for him to carry himself around. When he goes back there, they remove all those things and keep them. Now, the good news is that we are now going to put everything on him on exhibition. So these days, the guns and everything are going to be put in the museum. And then when you come there, you have the chance of seeing them.
I have also seen quite a few chiefs from outside the Santamai. We saw the Gamanche, and then we are also seeing the Omefia come in. What is the relationship between these kings or chiefs and the Santamai?
We have been associated with them for some time. May remember that once upon a time, the size of that Santaman was bigger than the present day Ghana.
Okay.
And therefore, all of them were part of the Santaman.
and they had a space here. Now in the contemporary times, Otumfuo Osei Tutu made it a policy to reach out to all of them. So remember, we travel all the way to Otumfuo's place for a festival like this.
Yes. Yes.
And he has been here a couple of times.
Yes.
Most likely that we are going to Accra to also attend festival there. We also go to Cape Coast, perhaps for the first time to attend Otumfuo first. So he's going out. We're pretty sure that in the recent days we will go to the north also to attend some of these festivals. So he's bringing everybody in another way. He's bringing everybody who was part once with us back home. Ivorians are now coming back. The Beninoans are also coming back. Few days ago, we had a delegation from Sudan and Cameroon. They live within the Sudan-Cameroon border, and they call themselves Kotoko.
Yes.
They are yet officially to come, but the information is that they also want to come back. People from Rara were part of us, so they want to come back, and it's no wonder you are seeing all of them today around us.
You're still watching live telecast of the Akwasidae Kese coming to you from the Menchia Palace in Kumasi. I've been speaking with Dr. Thomas Ajakun Poku, who is bringing meaning to what we have on our screens, and also their significance to Asante Mai. Doctor, we cannot necessarily pretend not to have seen that some of the dignitaries coming before Otumfuo would carry some boxes and some items with them or on their heads.
Traditionally, this is the day people want to greet the king and offer gifts. In the past, when the Mainhinen or the paramount chiefs will be coming, they all come with gifts. When the Asante was subject, the Kwaman then was the subject of the dangerous, we used to go there